I totally believe you. 100%. I just realized I had you guys muted. Hi! Hi, Dizzy. You're the first person I saw, so your name got called. Good morning. Happy Saturday. How's it going? Welcome, 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 anyone who's here. We are going to play an awesome game called Companion's Tale today, but we -1 are going to be playing games together every other Saturday going forward. Very exciting. We're going to be playing Spire in the future, but for now, to as proof of concept, I suppose, we're testing out a different game. So welcome on in. Hi, Chris. Hi, Dizzy. Welcome anyone here. Thanks for being here. Heart your faces.
Is this to prove that we all work together as a group?
I suppose that we can do this without like.
If we survive this game, there will be other games in the future.
If we survive this game, we might.
If it doesn't turn into like a popular band, and if we aren't Oasis, we just all break up at the end.
So, good thing there's nothing writing on this.
Yeah. Good thing nothing's happening here. But yeah, hi guys. Thanks for being here. I guess I didn't even like think of like preparing intros or anything, but that's what we're doing. I'm Jess_JG. These are some other super cool people who are here with me, and I'm gonna say the order that I see on screen. Because we had this discussion. We had this discussion and none of us are in the same order on anyone's screens. So Jason, you're first on my screen, therefore you must say hello.
Hi, I'm Jason on Twitter. I'm at Jace Levine. And I'm going to be GMing Spire starting at the end of this month on this channel. But this game doesn't have a GM, so I am just a player.
Awesome. And then Dustin?
Hi, I'm Dusty. Dustin, or that guy at GeoNerd on Twitter and Twitch. I will be playing Inspire, and I guess I'm also a character today.
Actually, going to be many people today.
I'm going to be many people, like it's really in my head.
Awesome. Megan?
Hi, I'm Megan at Megan Lynn for the win on Twitter. I will also be Inspire. And yeah, I am very excited to be many people in this super cool game.
Yep. So if at any point anyone wants to know what game we're playing, we do have a command for that. It is Companion Tale RPG. And that'll tell you a little bit about, oh gosh, I fixed that. The link isn't working. But yeah, it's a cool game. I think it's the first time. Jason, you've played this before?
No, I have not.
So it's the first time any of us have played this. So that's exciting. For the GM-less game, which is such a cool concept. I'm so excited. I want to play more GM-less games, mainly because it means I don't have to be responsible for anything.
Yep, no prep.
Which is like so ideal. Like how cool. But yeah, and we're missing one of our group. Thank you for editing that. I appreciate you. And I think actually if we put his name into chat, damn it. No, maybe it's Niventer.
Yeah.
It's Niventer.
Did you try it? Niventer. No, it's not working. But he's actually the one that made this beautiful layout. He's made us a special beautiful layout for Spire as well, which I cannot wait to share and show. And yeah, he's gonna be playing with us then. But he's too cool to play with us today, unfortunately. He didn't want to be multiple people with us. Anyway, Jason, do you want to go ahead and explain to us how the heck we're gonna do this game?
All right. So I'll talk a little bit about the premise of Companion's Tale. Companion's Tale is a story and a map-making game, not unlike some games like The Quiet Year. It has cards that are used as prompts, and using those prompts and telling a story with them, basically we create a world on the map and we tell the story of a hero. But the story of the hero is told through the eyes of people that knew the hero at various points in their lifetime. And none of them are fully reliable narrators. They all have their own points of view and own versions of the truth. But by the time we're done, we'll have a full story of the hero's life and the world and how it changed around the hero. There's a few different phases of the game, and as we go through the different phases, basically there are different roles, and we'll rotate through those roles with different people playing. And I think I'll generally use the order that we introduced ourselves with. So that was me. Was it Jess, me, Dustin?
Yeah, in the order on screen is we're vertically, because that's how I had to lay us out.
I'm gonna write it down.
We came into this issue, so it literally is me, Jason, Dustin, Megan is the order that we are on screen.
All right. So we have a bunch of cards, and since I actually have the physical game, I have the cards out here. I'll draw cards for people because I did not have time to set up digital card decks for all of this stuff.
Very fair.
We start with a prologue, which sort of sets up the world that this is unfolding in. We do this by answering some questions. Each one of us answers a question. And I'm not sure if we should start randomly. I do have a die, so I could find out who starts with the first question.
We could do a die. We could do in the order we're in. You want to do a D4 or a D8 or something like that?
I have a D8.
Is it the really old one you showed?
No. This one will actually roll reliably.
But that one was old and cool and probably contains magic.
That's probably true, but it probably also rolls unfairly.
Okay.
All right, I'm gonna roll. And it would be Jess.
I'm first?
So yes, you get the first question to answer about the world. And
Okay.
that first question, all of the other ones have choices, but this one is just one question. And that is, what is the most prominent physical feature of our land? And what virtue does it metaphorically represent?
What is the most prominent characteristic of our land, and what does it represent?
Physical feature of our land. And then it represents something. And then we draw it on the map.
Oh gosh, I have questions.
Well, you can ask questions.
So we're going by this is a completely foreign planet. Or
Yeah,
are we
could
doing
be.
different universe? Are we doing because I'm immediately okay, but what's the plant life on this landscape? What's the sun situation? What is
That-
what?
We set that up as we go along, so you can establish something like the physical feature, prominent physical feature could be a massive tree or something, but or it could be a weird sun or something like that.
Yeah, for sure. Let's do that. Because it's always fun to have just a giant. There's just a giant tree, that takes up all this space, and most trees are normal tree size, but this one tree. And so I think definitely it's a prominent landscape feature. It's visible from no matter where you start, as long as you don't go impossibly far away, you can always find your way back because of this amazing landmark. But it also means that the culture has grown around this tree, I think, because it's so prominent. Why didn't I go with something other than tree? Could I not just be
You're just staying on brand. That's perfect.
Yeah.
Okay.
But what does this tree metaphorically represent to the
Metaphor.
people of this land?
I think it means to them that trees are important in general, but also maybe that this one tree is obviously, I don't think they worship it, but I think they value it. Because it probably, even just when it drops, it probably the materials captured from it are probably invaluable, as well as I said, it's a constant landmarker to them no matter where they are. I think it does a bunch of stuff. It provides them with protection from stuff from the sky. Sky stuff? Sky.
Protect some of the sky stuff, which we may determine what that is later.
Yep. Later on we have to figure out what this sky stuff that they're being protected from is.
I'm not gonna tell you that I was literally thinking of a sky thing.
Yes!
So Jess, can you draw a big tree on the map?
Can I? It's not letting me. How do
I think you have to. I think we have to request permission or whatever we had to do.
Yeah.
I don't have any tools.
View
or
options.
annotate.
Let's
Oh.
see.
Is it annotate? Is that how we did it when we were testing it out?
Oh yeah.
Or was it
yeah,
request remote
I think I got something with annotate.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was one thing we should have tested before that we didn't.
Okay, so this is
We went into it so cocky.
the
Yep.
extremely prominent.
And so I'll get the next question if we go in order now, which I have to choose between one of two questions. The first question is, our spiritual beliefs promise prosperity? What must we do to become prosperous, and what is taboo? Or what do parents warn our children about at bedtime, and what celebration is tied to that fear?
That was the question where I was thinking of sky things.
I'm tempted to go towards that. Yeah, I'm gonna say that this land suffers from meteorites, or basically like a big meteor storms that periodically come down from the sky. The tree protects most people from them, but there are all sorts of stories that are told to children about staying under the branches of the tree, or that you could be hit by one of the meteors that comes from the sky. And basically there is, whenever there is one of these large meteor storms that comes down and pummels the earth around the tree, immediately following it, there's a celebration. Basically, they'll celebrate the fact that the tree protected them. There's usually a feast and dancing and singing. And they don't necessarily, that celebration doesn't necessarily happen on a set day. It's just whenever one of these large storms passes. And I guess I will draw like meteors or something. That's a terrible meteor.
I like them. I think they are
We get
pretty.
it.
pretty
They're very
evident.
nice.
And can we change
Top
our
notch.
pen color?
Yeah, there's a little I have a little format button.
It's
Do you have
called
that?
it's the format square, that little form next to eraser.
I don't have.
Aha.
See an
I see.
eraser.
Did you click annotate or?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go without erasing. I don't have these options.
Why don't you have them if everybody else has them?
Where do you visibly see them on yours?
It's a little bar that when I clicked annotate, a
Okay.
little bar came up
No,
that has mouse, text, draw, arrow,
No.
eraser format.
no, I don't have that.
Ruh-roh.
That's okay. I'll just
Hmm.
have to be red, and I'll have to deal with it.
All right. Dusty, you have
Yes.
a choice of these two questions.
Taxes. I'm going to take
Yep.
the taxes question.
Well, read the
Um,
question so everyone else knows. What
Yeah, I was going to read it. So, death and taxes are the only constants in life. Who do we pay taxes to? And we pay taxes to an organization called the Arbor, and they are the
Ooh.
tenders of this giant tree. They're the ones that repair it and nurture it and keep it, upkeep it from these meteors and things like that, and other threats that it protects us from.
Can you draw something that represents them on the map? I don't know what that would be. but
Um,
maybe they have a headquarters somewhere.
yeah, I'm just gonna draw. A little.
Just somebody throwing money at the tree.
Just like making it right.
The tree needs your money.
How did? Okay.
Well, Dusty's drawing that. Megan, you choose between one of these two questions.
Oh,
What is?
oh, sorry.
Your questions are either, what is the price of magic and who usually wields it? Or what new technology can be found in every home? What members of society has it displaced?
Okay. Obviously I'm picking magic. I think that the magic coming, like this place is so rooted, pun intended, around this giant tree, that the magic comes from like the ground and from the tree itself. So the price of that is people give up bits of like their humanity to wield the natural magic. So like those who have been practicing magic for a long time like start turning into like tree people.
Ooh.
Or treeple. But so like if you are like preternaturally gifted to like do magic, like you'll see people that have like like branches and like more trunk like legs and like limbs, and that's how you know that they're really like higher up magicians.
Can you draw like some little treeple?
I want to be an ancient triple magus.
I'm gonna literally draw a Christmas tree with arms and a head.
That works.
That's the extent of my artistic ability.
Have you guys seen the gif of the little wizard that's just like dancing and pew-pewing off sparks? I'm imagining that, but like as a tree. It's like pew, pew, pew. I found my commands. They were at the top of my screen under Discord for some reason.
Oh, good. So that was the prologue, where we sort of set things up about what our world is. Then we start the acts.
Not the
couple
axe.
Of bad treeple.
I like it.
It's so good. I love it. I love it.
Let's get a smile on that. Yeah. Magic. Wow, I can.
Oh, he's got the sparks too. Perfect.
Yeah, he's doing magic.
So a couple things about the acts that we're going to be doing. Basically, we can give names to places on the map, but we don't name the people. We never name the hero or the companions. We just refer to them by their titles that they'll have, either the hero or they'll have different titles on the cards. Truth is relative. So all the events we talk about are through the lens of the teller. Each character can have their own biases and prejudices or agendas. So we're not necessarily laying out hard facts about the world. We're laying out points of view. And we can disagree with each other. So as we're going through, we could be telling the story of a companion, or a companion could be telling the story of the hero that differs from what a previous companion said. No rules against that. So we start with Act 1, and this is the hero's genesis. And this basically tagline is all heroes start somewhere. What is this hero's origin? We're introducing the hero, and we start with a historian phase. Basically, we do that. I draw one theme card, and we all use that theme card. Each one of us takes turn describing a historical event inspired by the theme card. And then we add to the map, where appropriate, based on what historical event we've described. And we don't have to necessarily go in order for this. It can be, you can just come out with an idea, or we can go in order. It's up to us. But our theme card is Captivity. Once a distant fortress held a condemned soul. So we basically each have to talk about a historical event, or basically a historical event inspired by that theme.
Okay.
Is this directly related to the hero, or is this more like broadly about the land?
It can be broadly about the land, but it could be setting things up for why the hero comes about. Go ahead, Dusty.
I have an idea of a thing.
All right.
What was the card again? Just so I make sure that I...
Is Captivity. Once a distant fortress held a condemned soul.
Okay. So here's a world sort of thing. The opposite side of this tree on this planet is a vast desert, because the tree is literally pulling the resources out of so around the tree in that area, it's growth. So on the other side is this desert, and there's a fortress there. And one of these ancient tree maguses, magi,
Treeple.
one of the treeple, one of
That's a
these
horrible
a real powerful treeple, soul resides in that, I'm taking it quite literally, but it's in that desert fortress.
Mhm.
Would you say it's a sand castle?
Oh.
It is a sand castle. Yes.
All right. So yeah, if you could draw a sandcastle somewhere, I guess on the edge of the map.
I can try. I'll go with a brown.
And basically, the rest of us can sort of add to that if we want. You could take a totally different take on it, or you can add to Dusty's story.
Can you read the card one more time?
It is captivity. Once a distant fortress held a condemned soul. And Dusty, can you? So you said that this fortress holds one of the treeple.
It holds the soul of an ancient treeple magus that was super, super powerful.
So does he do they inhabit like are we talking like their soul still wanders in there? They're still alive in there? They control the castle? They are the castle? Are we talking
they were sent to be imprisoned in this castle.
Oh. So,
Is what I was thinking.
Okay.
So what? All right.
Oops.
So in this sand castle, up until that point, until when the very powerful treeple Magus's soul was put in there, it used to just kind of be, it used to be a place where people were held that kind of went against the overall society based around this like giant tree. So people that just didn't believe in the strength of the tree, or that the tree is the reason for all the good stuff that happens. So they were sent as far away from the tree as possible to be held in this this desert stronghold, just to be forgotten about.
Right. Is there anything you can add to the map for that?
I don't want to add more people, although I've proven myself to be a very strong artist.
It's true.
And a people person.
Yeah.
a real person of the treeple. A real.
Yes. Yeah, I'll draw some sad-faced guys over here.
The edge of the map isn't quite showing, and I want to share it so that everyone can see your beautiful art, Dustin. So I'm gonna try and fix that.
All right, I'm drawing these guys too small to like put faces on them, but just imagine they're really sad.
Really sad treeple.
They're very sad. They're like, oh no, we should have believed in the tree. Now we're in the desert.
There we go. I fixed it.
How numerous are these people that are in the desert?
I'm drawing 3, but I'd say there's like not too many. I'd say probably less than a dozen over the course of time. But once they sent the treeple magus to be confined there, they kind of just like eschewed them all out of the castle. So maybe now they just wander the desert.
Maybe they start like a nomadic.
Yeah, like a nomadic tribe.
I think that's what I'm gonna jump off of.
Okay. Yeah, they all get kicked out when they need the sandcastle to hold the treeple.
Yeah. So when they were originally in the castle and they were kicked out because the the ancient Treeple Magus had to be imprisoned there. And they've been wandering this desert, and they've sort of become this technologically advanced order. One of the things they do is they're not protected from the meteor falls. So these meteors will hit the desert and impact the desert, leave these huge craters, but also they'll leave like star metal in the craters. And they have perfected the art of forging the star metal into weapons and armor and machines. So they aren't numerous, but they have a strong, like, magical, arcane technological background. And the people who are protected by the tree and the arbor that keeps the tree safe started to worry lately about these wanderers in the desert.
That's really good.
Yeah, I don't know what to add to this. I like everything you guys have done. So what the theme was like not captured. It was something captivity. Okay, and so we have the sand castle, we have the sad sand people, but also the technologically skilled sand people.
They walk in straight lines to hide their numbers.
They're easily frightened, but they'll be back.
Nerds. God.
Yep.
Yeah.
Please.
Okay. I don't know what to add to this. I do like the craters, the metal. What else? My question is, when I'm wondering about, and I guess the whole premise here is that you just propose it. Like, I don't have to ask, I could just propose. But I'm thinking about, like, did anyone say if they're not adversarial to the Treeple, they're just kind of kicked out of Treeple society?
They don't subscribe to Treeple beliefs.
I love that we already have terminology. It makes me so happy.
Pun-based terminology.
100%. 100%. They unsubscribed. Ooh, I'm gonna say, okay, so you said, like, they're specifically technologically advanced. The Magus was a very, very powerful magical person sent away to the desert. I don't know. I'm wondering a few things. I'm wondering if the Treeple people, if the Treeple actually know what's going on with the sand people or not, or if they just, like, make up stories about them and, like, is there Treeple propaganda against the sand people?
Don't wander too far away from the tree.
Yeah, the sand people will get you. Because you said that they're, like, very technologically advanced, I'm wondering if, like, the tree provides a certain kind of magic. I'm wondering if the meteors provide almost an opposite kind of magic.
That would make sense.
That'd be cool.
And yeah, that's kind of what I'm wondering. So they
maybe as like the Treeple, as they use their magic more, they become more like trees. Maybe as the people make more and more things with the star metal, they become, like, less human.
Maybe they become more like automaton, like android-y people. Like, they become a little bit more crystallized. Like, they're a little bit more.
Yes.
Oh, you're hitting on my button.
I know. I literally just.
I'm already thinking about the opposite faction to the Arbor on this side of the planet.
I literally was, like, looking at you, Dustin, and going, rock people? Crystal people? Crystal rock people.
Rock? Oh, wow.
Oh, did somebody say rock people?
Yeah. What's the
Like a
It wouldn't be
golem?
creeple. I'm like, what would the crystal?
Creeple.
What would the crystal people be called? Not creeple. Crystal rock.
Stone people, steeple.
We have only one type of pun here.
We'll
It's
have
all
to
things
keep-
that rhyme with people.
We'll have to keep thinking. Because it could be
Yeah.
something else. It could be like what? Like rock denizens? Like,
Rockets.
We can call them the
Okay.
crystalline.
ooh, the crystalline. I like
Yeah.
that.
That
See,
is pretty cool.
I knew you would have something. Okay, so
Can you draw like a crystal thing? on-
I'm gonna try. But it's gonna be so bad. It's gonna be so bad. Hang on, let me try. I'm gonna draw. Going to. Okay, because you specifically used that blue. I'm gonna use that blue and like the crystal. The crystal. Oh, it's gonna be so
Oh
bad.
god, that guy's got a gun.
Yeah,
It's already so bad. No.
a crystal gun.
I mean, I can totally see it too. Like the sword guy would become like a sword arm guy, and like a gun hand guy.
Mm.
I've turned on the mouse and I don't know how to unturn on the mouse now.
What?
The eraser, sorry.
Oh.
You just have to
Click
go
on
to
draw
and
click on the line
draw.
type.
Ah, okay. Thank you. This is so bad. This is
Have you seen my treeple? Like, there's no baseline here. Like, you're good.
I have yet to play any of these drawing map making games where the art is really good.
Like,
This
I
is-
can't draw with like a pen and a piece of paper. Like, I don't expect it to be any good with a mouse.
Oh shoot, so bad. I don't know. That's a crystalline. That's when they get their full crystalline form. They like.
It does look sort of similar to the treeple, but crystal.
But don't tell them that. Don't tell them that.
that would be insulting.
Do not tell the treeple that they look like the crystalline at all.
Mm.
All right, so now we start the story rounds. There's going to be 4 story rounds, and in each story round, each one of us is playing a different role. In the first story round, Jess will be the cartographer.
Boy.
I will be the companion. Dusty will be the witness, and Megan will be the lore keeper.
Witness me. I forgot how to. Sorry, Jess.
No.
Your chat.
Oh, sorry. Did I miss
There's.
them?
No, I don't know how to undo the thing. Forgot how.
Oh,
Come on.
They should be back. No, yes, no. Got banned? Oh, no.
Because I forgot to put the underscore after his name after I permitted him, and then 600 seconds
There.
is a long time.
No, there. It's unbanned. It's removed. You are
Oh, yeah, I
free! You are free!
I
You
did-
are no longer in captivity. You are no longer in the sand castle.
Yes.
You were in timeout. I'm sorry. I'm so
Come
sorry.
back to the tree.
Come back to the protective tree.
But Jess, really quick, I don't mean to mess up the stream,
No,
but can
go
can you remind me how to do that?
It's just it's slash unban.
Slash. And okay,
Yeah, not
that's-
exclamation point.
I was doing it wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
all right. So through all the acts, we basically are going to have 4 face-up companion cards that we can choose from, and every time we take one, we basically draw another one. And I will be choosing the first companion, but each one of us has a role in this. So the cartographer, which is Jess's role currently, they just begin the round by looking over the map, and usually they briefly narrate the stuff, but we just went through it, so I don't think we need to briefly narrate it.
Mhm.
You can make any adjustments to the map as you see fit.
Okay.
You can do that anytime. So as I'm talking about the companion or any of that, you can adjust things on the map.
Okay.
And you can draw on the map to reflect your interpretation of the things that the other players describe. And that is what you do during this round.
Okay.
I will be the companion, so I will be drawing 2 theme cards, and I pick one theme card and I discard the other one. And then I have to choose one of the face-up companion cards to go with it. And then once I've done that, I draw a face card, and I'll show the chat or whatever on my camera what the face card looks like. But that will be like a like a visual description of the companion. And then with those 3 elements, I tell a story about this companion and how they intersected with the life of the hero. Specifically, this is the origin of the hero that we're establishing. So this will be their very much when they're starting out as the world currently exists. Then Dusty will be the witness. They will look to a part of the map where the hero or the companion is not present. They will take some sort of previous event, perhaps from our prologue or from our historian round that we just did, and they will describe how events changed in it.
I'm not gonna say that I don't absolutely love this role, because yes, behind the curtain.
Yep, and you don't need to tell the whole story. You can just choose to share some facts about how things changed if you want. And then the lore keeper, which will be Megan in this round, they will briefly describe a piece of lore that reflects some culture of the realm. Examples could be song, poetry, mural, fable, theater, slang, myth, cultural movement, game, sports. Basically something that exists in this world as a cultural element because of the things we've previously described. So I'm going to draw my theme cards. So the 2 that I drew that I have to pick one from is either anticipation, once a realm-changing announcement was made, or conquest, once an invader from afar came to our land, or once our banners were raised in foreign lands. And the 4 face-up companion cards right now are Scholar. Your expertise and knowledge brought you and the hero together. What would later come between you? Spy. You travel with the hero but are not what you seem. Where do your true loyalties lie? Rescued. The hero changed your life forever. Was it for the better? And Monster. You were human once. Now people call you a monster. I think I'm going to go with the Conquest theme card. And I'm going to go with the Spy, the companion. But instead of our lands being invaded, I think we went after the Sand People.
Oh no!
And I drew, if you guys can see this guy,
Okay.
but that's what my spy looks like.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
A playing card in his hands and a big smile on his face. So I'm gonna say that the spy was sent by the arbor away from the tree and into the desert lands on the other side of the world, because the arbor is increasingly worried. They know more about the crystalline and the Sand People than the normal residents of the tree do, and they are increasingly worried about what they're up to. They haven't the crystalline haven't actively been hostile towards the tree yet, but the arbor is worried. So they sent the spy out into the desert. The spy, as he was leaving the tree, met a young child. I'm going to say a young girl who was particularly adventurous and often disobeyed the fairy tales told by the cautionary fairy tales told by their parents, and frequently ventured out farther than the branches of the tree. Not quite to the desert lands, but out beyond the protection that the tree offered. And the spy saw someone useful in this young girl and brought them along, basically setting up this whole fictional tale about the young girl being his daughter and that he was just a merchant. And he went out to the Sand People and sort of infiltrated their society, met with them, traded with them, while the young girl sort of grew up in this in this foreign culture. She did not know that this man was a spy. And the spy, I wouldn't say he's totally loyal to her. He saw her as convenient, helped his cover story while he infiltrated the people in the sands. But the girl would eventually become the hero, and was sort of early on shaped by these events, interacting with the people in the sands. So I will work on drawing something for that. But while we do that,
I drew something. I don't know if you want to. You can delete it if you want. But it was I drew a little like flag of the tree people because I was imagining like because you said conquest.
Yes.
And stuff like that. But you could do something else.
No, I will leave that there. Dusty. So you, as the witness, have to look to something on the map that is not where the spy is and the hero is.
So that's you guys are over in the sand people, right?
Yep. And describe something that happens there.
Yeah, because I'm just kind of doing like little events, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh gosh. Let's see. So, I think I'm kind of going to play off the arbor being worried about, but I feel like there's a group of the arbor who don't want to mess with this weird balance between the tree and the other side of the planet. And I think there's just a small event that happens where they start meeting, a faction of the arbor starts meeting kind of in a little secret. In the village, they make sure it's like it's like just out in like a little village underneath the branches of the tree.
Okay.
But I think there's some people in the arbor that are just like, should we be messing with, the balance of what's over there and such and such. Oh.
Okay.
And then I'm just gonna do. I can erase the whole thing. Tablet, work with me, please. Tablet. No.
We're using a tablet right now. I'm so jealous.
I know.
Yeah, I'm using my Intuos.
Cause I'm dumb. While I was building the setup, I built it on my further away screen. So like, here's where it would be best for me to be drawing, is like right in front of my face. Here's where it is. It's like over there. So I'm like, it's mouse drawing and it's as far away and it's like uncomfortable as possible. I'm dumb. Jealous of your tablet. I like your little house though. This is a little secret, like a little secret society clubhouse.
And I put a little like face next to it, like just like.
Oh my god.
Those are the arbors that are just like. We feel uncomfortable.
Perhaps not.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not.
All right, Megan, you're the lore keeper.
Yes.
So you're creating some cultural part of the world.
I keep all the lore. So I think as a result of this, this spy just like straight up abducting this small girl
No, we didn't talk about what their parents are
Because
like.
that's
Their
exactly
parents.
so I think there starts to be like these like whispers amongst like the kids in this area that are like, oh, like if you misbehave or if you're bad, like someone's gonna take you and make you go live out in the desert.
Exactly what happened to her.
Which is like bad, but then after a certain point the parents are like, you know what, yeah, like whatever makes him behave, that's fine. so so
We lose a couple children here and there. It's all right.
so it becomes like this like boogeyman, more so than it already is, but saying like, oh, like kids, if you don't like behave, you're just going to disappear and you're going to be taken out to live in the desert. Like, yeah.
I like
Do I have to draw that?
it. If you can think of something to draw for it, or if Jess can,
Like,
you could draw some little kids that are outside the tree.
yeah, just like I'm gonna draw some like wee little ones over here in the corner
That's good.
that have been
Okay.
that are. I'm gonna draw them and then put like a question mark, like really? You don't know, better behave. The old scare parenting.
Oh my god.
Parenting.
All right.
Scared.
Well, Megan's drawing that. So the next story round, basically, we rotate. So this time, I will be the cartographer.
Okay.
Dusty will be the companion. Megan will be the witness, and Jess will be the lore keeper.
Okay. And sorry, the lore keeper just takes notes
Lore keeper does what Megan just did. We'll be doing creating some cultural
at the end.
thing.
Okay, yeah.
So Dusty. There are now once again I drew another companion, so there's always 4 up. So there's still the scholar, the rescued, and the monster. And there's an interesting note on the monster one too, that when you turn the face card for it, that's what they look like before they were a monster. And it no longer applies to whatever they became. But now there's also the patron. You supported the hero because you saw potential. What did you see in the hero? And your 2 theme cards, you get to choose one of these. One is debt. Once a substantial debt was overdue, or once collecting a small debt brought something of great price to ruin. Or patience. Once knowledge was revealed after a great wait.
Okay, so remind me how I'm doing this.
So you
I
pick
pick
one
it- I
of
pick
those
it-
themes
I pick one of those themes.
and one of the companions.
Okay, well I'm taking monster,
Okay.
That's a
and I
good
think
one.
I'm taking patience.
Okay.
Okay, and now I tell the story of a companion working with the little girl's the hero, right? Is that
Yes. Yep.
okay?
So I'll also show you the face card. This is what the monster looked like before they were a monster.
Okay. 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 Okay, so the monster wasn't obviously wasn't a monster like right off the bat, but kind of so as the spy was like in the community of the Sand People, right, with the girl, they sort of like integrated into like this nomadic society of the crystalline, but like the crystalline start out as like an order of people before they get the knowledge, whatever happens to them. So this companion, so they worked as sort of like in this nomadic society. The companion was sort of like the word. They're like a resource for what the metal is, the star metal, and all that kind of stuff. And it's sort of a kind of like a revered position to know the properties of this metal, the history of it, like to understand what else it can do. They experiment. And so as the spy was like bringing this girl through, they interacted with the little girl a lot, as just sort of she kind of showed an interest in the metal, and so this companion would teach her some things, and they'd have long talks about the history of this and where it comes from, and how they see the meteors as a gift and not a danger. Like, this stuff comes, it has all these properties. Remind me what the patience was again.
So the patience is once knowledge was revealed after a great wait. So that could be the process of when they were.
Yeah, so that's what I think. So that's where I was kind of going. Is that he kind of teaches the girl about this star metal over a course of time, but like, and I don't know, like, how does time work in this?
It's flexible. It's however we sort of determine it.
Okay, because this companion sort of reaches the length of time that it takes to have interactions with this metal in various ways that they start turning into one of the crystalline.
All right, so I'm gonna keep the little crystalline that's on there, and I'm gonna add the girl sort of learning.
Yeah, you could put like a book in the crystalline's hand or something, I think.
Yeah, I can do that.
Or eventually you have to come up with something that goes on the other side of the.
I know.
Because the other side is just blank.
Well, that's what I was sort of working with, like that little village. That's why I wanted to get over there, but.
Yeah.
Because that's the triple.
Yeah. All the interesting stuff is happening over with the crystalline.
That's not what I want. So he's got a book in his hand. And
Oh, I like it. I like the book.
Yeah, like open book. Wow.
oops.
Real good.
I would have drawn a rectangle.
Well, now that you said that,
No, it's really good.
Oh, it's good.
It's super duper good.
now we get my excellent stick person.
I'm excited.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's
really good.
the girl
Yeah.
learning from the crystalline.
You even made her flesh colored,
I did.
so you know she's neither crystalline nor
Flesh?
triple.
Yeah, no. So yeah, Megan, you are the witness. So basically, you look to somewhere else on the map other than this whole crystalline girl scene, and something happens, or we learn something about that aspect.
Something directly. Oh, just something happens elsewhere. Yeah.
Or we learn something new about something.
Yeah, so let's see. So I think that while all this happens, there's another like meteor shower, meteor pummeling, meteor attack.
Mm-hmm.
And it knocks a very large chunk of the tree down.
Oh no!
Sorry. So it knocks like a big branch, or even like a part of the trunk, just like a significant piece of the tree. And normally, like little branches and stuff fall down, but never anything substantial. And I think it starts making the people that live there, triple and otherwise, very scared, because this is like their symbol of power and protection, and just like this massive chunk of it is just fallen off. So I think as a result, the arbors start kind of like panicking and like trying to renew, like, no, the tree is good, like the tree is going to protect us still, it's okay. But some people are like, maybe those people out in the desert have some ideas about things, because this tree just broke. And
I drew a big branch on the ground.
it's beautiful.
That's really good. You're doing really
Good
good
branch.
arts.
You're really branching out in your art
Oh
skills.
my god. You really went out on a limb there, Dustin.
You've been friends with me for this long. You should know how I like to get to my roots.
Mhm.
I mean, even if he starts talking all mean and everything, you know that he's all bark and no bite.
Just a little
Uh,
bite.
I feel soiled. I'm really. Right,
Right, let's just leave these
Just
jokes
leave.
alone then. Yeah.
Jess, you are the lore keeper.
Okay.
So you have to describe some sort of cultural element of the world. It could be a holiday, like a festival,
Oh,
a
that's interesting.
slang term. It could be an art movement. Anything.
Oh.
Could be a
I'm
slang term movement.
I'm trying to think of something.
I looked over at
Yeah,
chat.
so did I.
I feel like because we already said is Arbor Day thing. Well, because there's already a group of people called the Arbors, right? That's the tax.
Yep.
Isn't that the tax group?
Well,
Like,
they're the tenders of the tree. Like we pay the
Okay.
money to this organization because they have the skills to keep the tree going
Okay.
and keep it healthy with the meteors and all that stuff.
Okay.
Well, good job.
Yeah, I was okay. That's what I'm gonna say. There's
There are some people who are like, oh, there's a faction in the arbor. Is this why the tree broke? Oh no.
I was gonna say that there's like not a riot, but like maybe a small like a protest of people accusing the arbors of not keeping the tree healthy enough. And if like this happened, you know, this branch went down, what about next time? What's gonna happen next time? And whereas like the people are typically fairly like happy-go-lucky, not worried about stuff because the tree protects them, right? Like I think there's a little bit of panic and a little bit of like yeah, I'm gonna say like protest of like
Ascension.
yeah, a little bit of ascension.
Making protest signs.
I meant to put that down.
They put them in the tree.
Little picket signs in the tree.
yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh my god. Yeah, so there was like yeah, we'll call it like the Day of Descent.
Cool.
Because they typically don't. I would say they typically don't. I don't know, fight
Yeah, there's
back
not a lot
against
of
their own.
dissent.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's not a lot of dissent, and they don't typically like rise up within their own society. They have enough of like an enemy in the crystalline that
Yeah, the tree does enough rising up for everybody.
Okay.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah.
All right.
Can't get rid of me that easily.
So now we switch again. So now I got to keep track of these better. So now Megan is, or Dusty is the cartographer.
Yep.
Megan is the companion.
Hollow.
Jess is the witness, and I'm the lore keeper.
Okay.
So I have to draw another companion. So and I'll draw theme cards for Megan. Megan, your two theme cards, you have to choose one of these, is either love, once the rules of marriage had changed, or once a forbidden love was revealed, or justice, once an innocent was accused of atrocities, or once a powerful figure was on trial for vile crimes. And the four companions we still have the scholar, and we still have the rescued. We have the patron, And now we also have the Bard. And the Bard's note is, most of your stories are lies. Did you even meet the hero? So
Oh, man,
love
that's
or justice. And either the scholar, patron, rescued, or Bard.
all right.
And to answer Dusty's question about time, so we're still in Act 1, which is the origin of the hero, but time,
Okay.
like time still passes. The hero is aging. So you could say that they are older now. In your face, that's fine.
It's just whenever that switches over to the hero being like heroic or whatever, right?
Mhm. But
All right.
there's no rule on when they actually, like, age-wise become a hero.
All right, so I really can't resist the allure of everything you say is lies. So I'm going to pick the Bard.
All right.
And I think I'm going to go with Justice.
Okay. And I'm gonna
Um,
draw the face card for you. This is a little smarmy guy.
yeah, that seems legit. All right, so let's see. What had happened was, let me tell you what happened. So it's been a little while. The hero's probably like late teens-ish, early 20s, and there's her crystalline tutor got accused of a crime, just a crime. And the hero, knowing that her friend was not guilty of this crime, during the trial, like rushed into the middle of the trial and just like spoke so beautifully in defense of the person that like had been her friend and like had taught her so much, and tried to argue their case, unsuccessfully, because there are rules within like the nomadic tribe, and she was forced out of the tribe and told that she had to leave, and as a result of that, she began to make her way back across the desert, back towards the tree, because she believes that there was no true justice anymore, within the crystalline and the sand people. And that's exactly what happened.
None of it was lies.
None of it was lies.
You know you're Bard.
Nope.
The story was in no way embellished.
Nope. That's it. I saw it with these eyes.
Dusty, can you draw anything on the map for that?
Can we sum up that again? Like,
So the crystalline was accused of a terrible crime,
A crime.
Yeah.
Yes.
which the Bard has not specified for some reason, even though it totally happened.
Nope, just capital A, capital C, a crime.
And the hero basically was banished from the Sand People and has been making her way back towards the tree, I guess.
Yes. You could just draw like
Okay.
a little arrow from the little girl heading back to
Well,
the tree.
I think I was gonna do something like
I feel like this is Pictionary and I want to guess what it is. Oh, it's a little justice system and then a travel backwards. Got it.
Oh, no.
it's my horoscope sign because I'm unbalanced. Okay, I think that works.
Yeah. Now she's coming back.
Guess who just got back today? You guys, just appreciate Thin Lizzy. That was a good band. Anyway.
Heroes back in town.
All right, so Jess, you are the witness.
So
You have to describe something that happens elsewhere other than around the hero and the Bard, who was totally right there through all those events.
Totally perfect representation of what happened. It's all legit.
Okay. Hmm. 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 I want to think of like what's on the other side. I'm like, because we still have
Yeah,
a
that's
blank
like, yeah,
whole side.
you're doing events. You're doing
Yeah,
events that's happening on that side anyway.
Yeah, anywhere else
Yeah.
basically. So you can.
I
Just like
know.
the Red Hot Chili Peppers, just take it on the other side.
Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to think. Okay, because we basically have the tree, and I really like the premise of like how Destin said that basically on that part of the Earth going down, it's like, like if you imagine a tree and its roots, it's taking everything it needs from that around it, but at least like most of the area around it would also like benefit and still be green and stuff like that. But then on the opposite, like right on the direct under part of the Earth is where like the desert is, and I'm imagining it's just like not even not even a third. Like it's a much smaller portion that is like, but as it goes, it sort of changes. So what's the in between? There's like a moderate space in between. Oh, you know what? There's gonna be there has to be frigid water. So there at some point there has to be. Maybe now we are splitting the world into three. There's the tree, the desert, and then like a mass of water, or
Like a river, maybe, or
a world river, like one whole river that spans like most of the Earth.
yeah, like a
Circumnavigates the Earth.
yeah, that.
Words.
Words.
Okay, yeah. So
Complicated.
actually, yeah. So I like that. So basically, we have the tree, and then we have some like small like patches of forest around it, and then there's actually like not a perfect circle, but like basically a giant river that circumnavigates most of the Earth, and then there's a little bit more greenery, and then it fades away to like the desert. So I'm going to say that. So I'm not doing the culture, I'm doing like an event?
Yep.
Okay,
I mean, it's an event or it's just facts about the world. So you basically,
Yeah.
you just stated facts about the world.
Okay,
Yeah, you can just build
Okay.
that up.
so yeah, so there's actually this like, there's not like a sea or an ocean, there's a massive river that circumnavigates like the whole world, and it kind of goes like around.
You're gonna
Almost
make
like
Dusty draw that.
it's almost like an almost infinite moat around, and then like I said, then there's like a tertiary space just after that, and then it fades away to the desert.
All right, so Dusty, if you could draw something that represents that.
Just draw some blue lines.
Yeah, just draw some blue squiggles.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's what I was pretty much gonna do. Womp 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 womp. If my
You have the tablet.
this-
You're the one doing the fancy stuff.
This river goes around like the sort of the equator of the world.
I would say a little, like not quite the equator.
All right.
Like, because I'm imagining. I'm gonna draw something and then I'm gonna erase it. I'm gonna like. Oh, I love that it's purple. Dang, Dustin. Okay. If
That's
this,
a really good river.
Yeah. Okay. If this is, let's say this is the Earth.
Wow,
Well,
that's
not-
one sweet earth.
So part of the good world, you might say.
Round.
And then we'll say the tree is here. And then we'll say that's like.
You should totally leave this up for reference.
We don't have to. I don't have
No,
the
I'm saying you
soft.
should.
I don't have the soft blue that. Soft like blue purple that Dustin has. I'm jealous.
which is weird because on the format it's blue and it's coming out.
It's because
I
they're
think-
using that highlighter tool, sort of, I think.
Oh, that's why. Never mind. I thought that was a thicker line.
But it works really well for this.
No, yeah, that works. I'm fine with that.
It looks like water.
Oh, there's where you do thicker line. Whatever. Whatever.
So it's
It's
almost
'cause
like
the opacity on the blue is set to really low. Yeah.
I'm imagining it more like that.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Kind of.
Yes.
And then
That's how I
there's-
was picturing it.
And then there's like the.
Look at all those layers.
There's like the little sandcastle on the other side.
That's awesome. I
Oh,
like
and
it.
so like the fortress, like the pillars of that fortress, I meant to say this, but they're like roots from the tree that have come out and like petrified,
Ooh.
like
Ooh.
the
To the other
framework
side.
of that fortress, and then they just sort of built into that like massive roots. And I like
Yeah.
to think that on the desert side, there's just these stone pillars that come out of the desert that are petrified old roots of the
Yeah.
world tree.
So if
Oh,
you
that's
like,
so
if you
cool.
look at them at first, you're like, oh, those are like stone, but they're not. They're petrified wood root. That's really cool. And then like, so it forms sort of like the skeleton of the, and then they like
Yeah.
built,
And
they
then they
built a
built it,
sand
yeah.
castle on top of it.
Yeah,
Cool. I'm about it.
I love world building, guys. This is fun.
Mm.
I love this game so far, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. So I have to now describe some sort of cultural aspect. Hmm.
Do you want me to delete the Earth?
No, I like
keep
it.
that up there. Yeah,
I
keep
think
that
it's
up there.
Also,
Yeah.
it shouldn't. I should stop calling it Earth because it's definitely not Earth. It's ER.
Ooh, ER.
Totally different.
Totally, completely different.
We're gonna call it New Earth.
Earth 2. That was a good show.
Electric Boogaloo.
Hmm.
We can call it Hitara. Hitara.
Uh,
Nerth.
so I'm gonna say that the large branch that fell from the tree. I mean, this is a very large branch, and it has sort of become hollowed out. So it's sort of a hollowed out log with these branches off of it, and the children, the rebellious children who venture out farther from the tree, they have sort of become. It's almost become the cool place to hang out is in the large branch. It's sort of like the bad part of town.
It's the disco for the kids. It's the discotheque.
Not
they-
sent to the desert.
They go inside this giant branch in the dark recesses of this branch, and that's where they do all sorts of things that they're not supposed to be able to do. But basically, they hold parties there. There's probably like drinking and gambling going on inside this branch.
Oh, I love it.
Ooh, meet you at the branch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so that's sort of the cultural. It's just the branch they call it, and they hang out. It's kind of like this den of
Spot.
sin.
Did they actually like bore into it?
Yeah, they cut it, and it's hollowed out too. As the
It's
branch
hollowed out.
died.
Okay, as the branch. Okay, so it sort of it started to hollow, and they kind of like continued they kind of like amplified the process, like making it thing, and then how this branch must be pretty big. There
It
must
is.
be
Well, I mean,
like
part of the tree. It was the most sizable piece of the tree that's fallen off.
that's tall enough ever in the history of the treeple. I'm wondering like it must be big enough to be like a small mall or something, like with like
Yeah.
many little sections or like little rooms or things.
Nightclub.
That's what I'm thinking of.
A nightclub with different rooms. There's like,
Get some fireflies up in that bitch.
oh man, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. It's lit by all like jars of fireflies and stuff.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
It's moss.
Oh my gosh, there's like for sure like, you know, the there's like an EDM room, and then there's like an R&B lounge, and then there's like the chill vibes firefly meditation room.
Oh,
I'm drawing little yellow dots around the tree that are fireflies.
Yes.
yeah.
I love it. I love it
This is
so
a
much.
very good map.
This is
Alright.
I'm much happier with the look of this than I thought I was gonna be, can I say? I love everything so far.
All right, so we have one more story round in Act 1. So now the cartographer is Megan, the companion is Jess,
Okay.
I am the witness, and Dusty is the lore keeper.
Ah ha ha!
My
For
time has
your-
come.
For your theme cards, Jess,
Uh-huh.
you have a choice between injury, once
Ooh.
a mighty figure was permanently transformed by injury, or guidance, once an unlikely guide offered assistance. And the 4 companions you can choose from are Scholar, Patron, Rescued, and Lover. At one point, you and the hero were in love.
Ooh.
Could you read me the one for Scholar and Patron again?
Scholar is your expertise and knowledge brought you and the hero together. What would later come between you? And Patron is you supported the hero because you saw potential. What did you see in the hero?
Oh, it's definitely one of those two. Because I definitely want to do the injury. I really, really, really want. I think the. Oh, do I want to do Scholar or Patron? I'm going to do Patron.
Okay. And injury?
And I'm going to do injury. And
then
it's
I'll draw.
it's basically that the hero sustained an injury, right? Is
It
that
could be. It just says once a mighty figure, so that could be the hero.
Okay.
The face card I got for you is this cool chick who actually has a sword.
Yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I definitely think that. Oh. I love badass sword ladies. I definitely think that. So the hero. Oh gosh, how did this happen? The hero is making their way back to the tree, but they have to cross that giant river, and they have not been since they were a kid, and maybe they don't remember. Sorry, she doesn't remember the way, and I think there was some sort of an accident, and they were tossed around very violently, and the patron found the hero. So do you do this as the person? Do you speak as the
As the companion.
Okay. So, yeah, I came upon the hero, and she was devastatingly injured. I wasn't sure she would make it. I had to remove her arm, and it had to be done. It was the only way to do it, and I had learned the magics of my people, and I had specifically been trying to find ways to heal, but it had never been called upon me to heal quite like this. And so I was really trusting in the powers of the tree to help us, and I had some elements, and I asked the tree to help the hero, and the tree gifted the hero with a new limb, one that had previously been part of themselves, part of the tree, and as they returned to health, and I nursed them back to health, they gained control, and despite the fact that they didn't seem to have very much knowledge of the tree, they admitted to me eventually that they had been over living at the sand castle, but they seemed not to be corrupted by that evil. And tree willing, they were blessed with this arm, which despite their lack of knowledge of the tree, gave them very quick connection and command of the tree's magic.
So the hero knows the tree's magic and also the star metal forging.
Oh, isn't that interesting how that's happening?
Oh, it's almost like it helping them together.
It's almost like, yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely think the patron like tried to help out the hero and thought only to heal them and their wound, but something about the hero, the magic was greater than what the patron thought it was going to be, and they grew a magical tree arm with and immediately gave them almost immediate access, whereas other people have to like study, you know what I mean, and spend a lot of time learning the ways of the tree to get this sort of magic. They almost instantly connected with the tree and the tree's magic in this way. Yeah, that's what I think happened.
So is the hero back at the tree now?
I personally think that the patron lived in sort of an intermediary space. They had sort of separated themselves to focus on some learning, and they were kind of closer to the World River, which is why they were able to find the hero after their accident in the World River. Yeah.
The tree's branches and roots stretch across the world, basically.
They do. They reach out in such ways. And I think the patron also had some components collected from the tree, from being closer to the tree, but they had taken some with them. But there's often available, as we know, basically just because the roots coming out as part of the sandcastle even. I think there are elements of the tree in many places all over the world.
Right. So Megan, if you could add to the map somewhere the hero with a wooden arm somewhere, I guess, in the intermediate area. No.
That's exactly within my skill set as an artist. All right. Okay.
Or you could draw a little hospice by the World River, or you could draw there's a bunch of things.
I'll draw 2 people and then I'll draw a red cross. Yeah, let's see. We'll figure it out. This is a learning experience.
Okay. I'm the witness, so I'm going to describe something else that happened somewhere, and I know what that's going to be. So while the hero had gone off, there was that crime that the bard spoke about, that the Crystalline had been accused of, and then the hero didn't think there was any justice dealt there and left. Ran across the patron and had that whole experience. But elsewhere, some of the sand people had been traveling, and they had basically been desperate for resources. It is tough living out in that desert, and they see all the greenery and things that the tree provides to the people on the other side of the world, and they basically coveted that. They wanted some of that stuff. They also crossed the river separately from the hero, but they came across that house where some of the arbor has been meeting. And in desperation, half starving, having crossed the river, they tried to take the belongings of that arbor faction in the house. The arbor faction was not willing to give them up, and there was a struggle. And some of the arbor faction were killed, some of them ran. There was a battle, and the house was taken over by those sand people. So now there's a bit of a struggle there, and chances are some of those faction of the arbor are going to make their way back to the tree and tell the rest of the arbor what happened.
Why do you keep being the one to incite war?
Because I have to create the hero has to do something.
You're such a monster. Dustin, I think.
Is this how we talk to our friends?
This is how Jess usually talks to me.
No, yeah, she calls people monster all the time.
I just feel left out.
the flag of like from between the tree and the sandcastle was an antagonistic thing that Jason did. And now Jason's doing this like, oh, they're crossing the river, they're coming into the tree space, they're doing it, they're gonna do it.
That's me.
Everyone, please look at my art.
I love
Good.
it.
I like it.
It's
That's
very
good.
good. All right, I've used all of my art. Anything else is just really being phoned in.
This is amazing.
the art tanks are dry.
Yep, tapped.
I'm adding my little sand people attackers.
Vicious.
Oh, look at the fire! Oh, you should change the meh face to just like a frowny face.
I can do that.
They're
Yeah, and-
no.
Give it X'd out eyes because some people died there.
And what really sucks is that the people there were the people that were already like not super keen on the tree space, but then like the sand castle people came over and like the crystalline came and attacked the people who probably would have been easiest turned to their cause.
Yeah, right. They could have been like, "Hey, friends.
No,
how do you
no.
feel about the tree?"
Way to make them the bad guys, Jason.
Yep. And
This
it
is
wasn't
how history moves forward.
it wasn't all the sand people that attacked either, but
Just
Yeah.
some sand.
Vicious.
Oh, he's poor. He's poor.
that's my terrible crossed out eye sad face.
Oh,
Oh.
look how big that sword is.
That's
Yeah.
a really big sword. That's
Bigger
them
than
using
the
their
house.
All right, and
That's them using
Dusty,
their
you are
technology.
the lore keeper.
Oh, right. So I've been thinking about this for a while. There is a story among the crystalline that tell of the metal from the sky, that it is a gift, and that within it is a hope, a salvation, a rebirth. And it is very, very rare, but occasionally in one of these meteorites, there is a small core that is a crystal. And oftentimes it looks like a seed. And the crystalline tend to keep, when they find this, and it's really rare, they tend to keep it as like a little amulet. And as part of a ritual, it could be given to someone you really care about or that you've grown a bond to in times of trouble to give them hope. And so sometimes the crystalline will have one of these little seed pendants, and sometimes they give it to someone who they think is important to them.
Oh.
And I'm going to leave that at that.
Okay,
Oh, we could draw like a little necklace around the crystalline.
yeah. I'll let
Cute.
Megan do that, even though
Oh,
she's used
jeez.
up all her art skills.
Yeah. And we just give him a really sweet chain. All right. Y'all ain't ready for this. Okay. Here we go.
And whether that got passed along to someone or something at some point.
We'll see.
I'm putting in the anti-Jasons.
Somebody has
That's
to.
good.
I'm
That's
putting
good.
in.
I like it.
I've been thinking about this, but I wanted to put in some little hopes and salvation.
All right, there it is. There's my sweet crystal on a chain.
I like it. Okay.
I turned the line thickness all the way up.
So the last part of Act 1 is the biographer phase. So this is when we throw suspicion or praise upon the companions of the tale so far. So each one of us gets to pick a companion that was played by someone else, and we get to describe something unfortunate, amusing, or scandalous about that other player's companion. We don't need to agree. We don't need to agree with that player's interpretation of the companion. Use the third person when telling the story. And we don't have to go in any certain order, it's just as we have ideas. So just to recap the companions that we have Jess's patron, who nursed the hero back to health and gave them that magical tree arm. We have Megan's Bard, who definitely totally was there when the Crystalline was accused of a terrible crime and the hero left the Crystalline. We have Dusty's Monster, who taught the hero how to use the Star Metal. And we have My Spy, who
Borrowed.
kidnapped the hero, I guess, took them out to the desert and introduced them to the Sand People while keeping tabs on them.
So is this basically just us cutting each other down?
I mean, it doesn't have to be
Suspicion or praise,
Yeah.
so you can build up to, I guess.
Oh, I really love how you kidnapped that little girl.
negative. Yes, please, somebody take My Spy down a peg, because he's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, that's where I was gonna. I'll jump on that because that's where I was gonna go. Yeah, the spy might have had somewhat good intentions being sent by the Arbor to check out the crystalline, but he straight up abducted a small child without regard to whether or not she had a family or friends, or if people would be looking for her, or if she'd even make it through the trek to the desert, which is on the complete other side of the planet. So the spy, I would posit, is kind of like a villain in this scenario, because like this little girl, like the hero didn't need to be like go through all the what she did to become the hero, because she could have just lived like a totally normal life with her friends in the log, like partying and just being a normal kid. Bad guy.
I'm going to jump in and say that the patron always suspected that the hero was going to be able to pull on the power of the tree and control that arm and control the magic. Never told the hero that. Pretended like, oh no, I didn't know that was going to happen at all. I was just restoring your arm. But the patron had actually followed the hero as they crossed the river, and then didn't help the hero when they lost their arm, when they had their injury, but saw the potential there of that moment, and helped craft that arm for them, knowing that, or believing that it would unlock the tree's power in the hero. So they were sort of setting the hero up to be bigger, but they knew or suspected the whole time.
I'm gonna take the bard and sorry,
go for
Jessica,
it.
you want
No,
sure?
because it
And
doesn't
you can both say stuff about
Yeah,
what
we
can
happened.
both-
That's fine.
This is fine.
I'm gonna say the bard was actually like a really high up and respected member of the tribes of, well, in a historical context written down, the bard was a very well respected and of the nomads, and was a great giver of advice and things in times of, like, the stories they told were so true.
Oh, true.
I'm torn. So this isn't the gossip phase, right? This is the
gossip.
This is
phase.
the gossip phase?
This can be gossip too.
shit, because I love that.
You like gossip?
Well, it's just I've heard a little snippet of people playing out the gossip phase before, and it was so funny because they did all voices and they were all like, oh my gosh, okay, so like I heard that you can't trust anything that gosh darn Bard says, because like I heard one time they claimed that, rather than rivers of water, there's just large bodies of water, like that's a thing, like that could ever be a thing, and that like large swimming creatures like live in that, like just really like not fish, not talking fish. They claim big ones. Like, that would never work. That's so dumb. Who would say that? You can't trust anything that Bard says, cuz like clearly they're a big fat liar.
Like it.
I feel attacked.
You said you felt left out. Now
I came here to have a good time, and I'm honestly really going to get back in now.
All right.
Rightly so.
Now we enter Act 2, which is the hero's rise. This works very similar to Act 1, but this is the path to glory and fame, and it's littered with their early efforts. The hero has emerged and is entering in early conflicts and heroic acts. Now is a good time to introduce some growing threats that will set the world into chaos for Act 3. So, go back to our original order. And Jess is going to be the cartographer for this one. I'll be the companion. Dusty
I'm
will
the
be
witness.
and Megan is the lorekeeper.
Lorekeeper.
Gonna draw my cards, my theme cards. So my 2 theme cards are futility. Once a great relic was lost after a long effort, or once a soldier protested a doomed charge, or disorder. Once the people revolted against the laws of the land, or once the people discarded propriety in social ritual. And so the scholar, the rescued, and the lover are still companions, but there's also now the firstborn. The hero is your parent. How do you feel about your parentage?
So sudden.
So sudden. You haven't even had a lover yet.
I know. I don't think I'm going to go with the firstborn yet.
Does it have to go in chronological order, or can it can jump around, right? It's different people telling their story. So in theory,
yes.
it's like...
These 4 companions during Act 2 don't necessarily happen in chronological order.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like each one's a chunk. Like the first chunk of time is one chunk of time, and it can jump around a little bit, and the second chunk is a different chunk.
Us as linear beings have just been playing it linearly because that's how we think.
Yeah, but I think this is like, I think you have to view it more like, oh my gosh, thank you for those. I imagine it more like you're like someone's going around like, I'm planning on doing a biography on the hero, and so they're talking to different people, and they're like, this is my experience with the hero. Well, like, I made love to the hero, apparently. That's the thing, although we've been talking about her as a child up until now, so it's a little awkward.
No, she was like 20-ish when she left the place.
Yeah, she's growing up.
So she's growing up. She's got a tree arm now. Like, she's an adult. Ish.
Make your choice.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with disorder. And
General disorder?
So I'm going with the rescued and disorder. When once the people revolted against the laws of the land, and the rescued is the hero changed your life forever, but was it for the better? So I'm gonna say that. Oh, and I have to draw my face card thing. Ooh. So a woman with a fan and flowers behind her.
I'm a fan.
So I think this woman is definitely from the tree people. Oh, okay. So,
Always a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
so the spy, he's still been living with the nomads, this whole time, integrated in their society, even after the hero learned the ways of the Star Metal and then left after the Crystalline had been charged with the crime. The spy was still there. And the spy always needs a protege.
You monster.
he's got to maintain his cover stories and stuff, and he needs someone to, like, he doesn't want to be out there alone among the nomads, this one undercover tree person. So yeah, he borrows another of the tree people who had been hanging out at the branch, already on the fringes of the society.
Hey,
Yeah, offered them a life of adventure and wonder among the nomads. And they were a bored, rebellious kid living or spending time in the branch, so they went along with it, and took this like teenage girl back to the nomads, and you basically tried to integrate them with the nomad society and with his whole cover story, but it wasn't working. This girl didn't want to follow the rules, didn't want to maintain a cover or anything like that, and was living a very hard life under the spy's watch. And the hero learned of this, and the hero, having once been in that same sort of situation as a child, came and rescued the woman from the spy's grip. However, when the rescued returned to the tree, she brought with her stories of her terrible time with the nomads. Most of that was honestly at the hands of the spy, but that's not the way the people of the tree read the story. They saw that this woman had been taken into the Sand People and treated harshly, and then word has also returned to them of the Arbor's village or whatever being hideout being attacked. And so even though the hero did the right thing here and rescued this woman, when she returned to the tree, it started to turn public opinion against the nomads in a pretty harsh way. So whether that was for the better or not is questionable.
why do you keep making war?
That was such an evil laugh.
Although I do have to say, would you call this a retrieval?
No, yes, I would.
Oh no. Oh my god, guys. Is this how it's gonna be when we play Spire? Is it just gonna be like
Only if we're so inspired.
Oh. All right. So,
I put a little thing to express in the tree.
Oh, I
Oh,
see it. Yeah, that's really good.
Castle.
I like it. Okay, so
It's much
now we
better than
have-
my flag. Much better.
Your flag is beautiful.
So Dusty, you are the witness.
All right. Well, I'm taking lover. Or did we already do that?
No, you're
No.
you're the witness. So you describe.
Oh,
what
I'm the
happens
witness. Oh,
elsewhere.
right. Oh, right. I thought we switched already. I'm sorry. I jumped the gun. Okay. So wait, where'd the hero go now? Where's the hero?
I would say the hero is. I'm gonna say the hero sort of left off living outside the tree, but like in that same area where they've been
Okay.
working on their powers. But they went and got this person, returned them to the tree, but they're not living in the tree.
Okay. And okay. I just need to know where I can focus on because I'm supposed to be like opposite where the hero is.
Well, almost anywhere.
Almost anywhere. Or like anywhere but where the hero is.
Yeah, just basically not involving the hero or the companion that I had.
Why do I forget everything that just happened? The spy is still in the nomad?
Mhm.
Yes. Now, once again, without a kidnapped person.
Kidnapped
I think-
protege.
I think this event, like, just like, the recent, and this might not have been like, there's something wrong with this guy. The nomads don't like it, and there's starting to be some like talk, and they don't really know, even after all these years, this guy has been he's always been. I think he gets tossed into the fortress.
Ooh.
Ooh.
They're just like, you know what? We need to talk about things, but there's some weird stories that have been coming around you. We're gonna leave you in here for a minute, and then we're gonna discuss.
Have
So
fun
just-
with this triple soul.
Well, yeah, they don't. I mean, do they know a triple soul's in there? Who knows? But yeah, they kind of break into not break in, but they've utilized this every once in a while, but mostly for just storage and processing.
Storage.
It's like a closet. They just sort of
Yeah,
stuff
and
things.
so they stick him in there for a while, to just think
Put him in
about.
timeout.
Yeah, they put him in a timeout, but it happens to be at another meteor festival, so then it becomes they kind of forget about him for a while. Because the nomads have to take meteors seriously. They don't have a fancy tree to protect them.
Yes, that's true.
So I'm just gonna put a little guy in here for this guy. He's now hanging out.
I like that
Beautiful.
because these companions come back up later.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna put this little purple fiery floaty ghost thing because we never talked about the soul that's in there.
Yeah, that's still a thing.
Yeah, so that we don't forget there's a soul in there.
It's a Gengar.
Yeah, Gengars are cool.
You need your self scope to see it properly.
Yeah. It's really just whatever the name of that place in Lavender Town is.
Yeah, oh
Oh.
gosh, what is it? I'm not gonna remember. It was
Now
a
you've
tower.
gotten too deep into Pokemon lore for me.
That's like OG. That's
It doesn't
literally-
take much.
But if you play
Where
the
my
new
lore
one, if you play
ends.
any of the Let's Go, they go back to the tower and you have to get the Silph Scope to identify the ghost Pokemon.
I do know
Had
that
to
much.
redo it recently. The Pokemon Tower? It might just be the Pokemon Tower. That makes sense because it's literally just sort of like a little memorial graveyard to Pokemon.
All right, so Megan, you're the lore keeper,
You bet I am.
and I know you might be tempted to put Pokemon facts in some of their
Do it!
culture, but
Obviously. Okay. So I think what has come from this is there's now a play reenacting the heroic rescue of the companion from the evil, horrible sand people. It's
is the spy even mentioned in it, or is it just the sand
No,
people kidnapped her?
no, yeah, it's like 80% anti-sand people propaganda, 20% poorly written. Like the
It's
Arbor
a
was like,
community theater.
it's like product placement. The Arbor was like, you need to put all of these talking points into this play. But I am met. My brain is like imagining it as like it's like a story that's spreading so much, and it's almost like kids acted out too. Like when they're playing in the street, they're like, "Oh, like you're the sand." Like they play like sand people and tree people,
Mm.
and it's just something that's like spread throughout all of the tree people. Is like there was this play, and oh, thank you. There was this play, and then like everyone's seen it, everybody's heard about it. Like the hero is saving the tree people who are being kidnapped by the horrible sand people, and then it's like trickling all the way down so that like the kids are running around on the street like, oh, I've been kidnapped by the sand people, and then the little kid's like, I'm the hero. That
You see what you've done, Jason? You've culturally ingrained
Yep.
war.
hatred.
You have made the children play war.
This is what
They-
the hero has to change. I'm
Yeah.
just giving the hero their chance.
Yeah. Whatever helps you sleep at night.
I drew a little stage. I don't know if you can see with little
I
people
like it.
on it to represent your little play. There's people playing out the play. Also, Megan, you now have butts. Yay, butts!
I know, butts for Megan. Oh,
Thank
what
you.
a beautiful day.
Thank you, Chris.
Okay,
Yeah, that's my best attempt at making a theater.
so
It looks
now it's the next story of the.
Now I can do the thing that I wanted to do earlier.
So now I'm the cartographer. Dusty is the companion.
Okay, here we go.
Megan is the
I'm
witch,
ready.
And Jess is the
like,
warlock.
I'm the lover.
So I'm gonna draw your theme cards, Dusty.
Okay.
Okay. So your choices are defeat.
Oh.
Once a clever plot led an innocent into a trap, or once a great and grave truth was revealed, or creation, once a new domain of knowledge was released into the world, or once a new technology made its ways in the hands of the people. And so we have the scholar, the firstborn, and the
Lover.
lover. Okay, we also have now the outsider, which just says you're not from around here.
Well, that's the hero, sort
Oh.
of, through a path.
Through no fault of her own.
Nope, no, not theirs. That stupid spy who's now locked out with a soul.
You took lover and
Yes.
defeat or creation.
Creation.
All right. And I will draw the face card for you.
Oh, does it have to be? Okay, so the lover, and this is a game where I can make stuff up, so I'm making stuff up.
Absolutely can.
The lover is a tree maker,
Mm.
and she meets the hero. It starts off as sort of an inquisitive thing, like, oh my gosh, like your arm, like, and so they build a bond over this arm, and she sort of teaches through this sort of like camaraderie and like hanging out, and the tree magus, she's really interested in the stories that the hero has of the nomads and the sand people, and despite the cultural ingrained just nastiness between the tree people and the sand people, she like believes the hero and like kind of starts falling in love with the hero, and the hero is really good at this at the tree magic, and she teaches, and it's sort of they sort of build like a really deep relationship with that. They get their roots in each other. Not in a dirty way. That sounded dirty. I just realized as I said it. Anyway.
I mean, they are lovers. Don't shame them.
That's true. And so what were my choices with creation?
Once a new domain of knowledge was released into the world, or once a new technology made its way into the hands of the people. Bearing in mind that the hero knows about forging the stone.
Yeah, and I think through the course of this, I'm gonna get like poetic here. One night, when they're hanging out and they've had a long day of like magicking, and they kind of the river was a big turning point in the heroes, like that was a big change for them, and so they're kind of hanging out on this river, and the tree magus sort of sneaks a little kiss. Just, they're sitting there for a long time, and the stars are lit, and maybe just like it had just finished after this event, this meteor event, and so there's like just like small ones that aren't a threat, but just like streaking through the sky. And so the tree magus leans over to the hero and pecks a kiss, and we haven't established that yet. Shit.
Go ahead.
Just say it. Just establish it.
Let's just say that hero has the crystal seed pendant.
That's fine.
And it glows and it sprouts a tiny little sprout when they kiss.
Ooh.
Aw, love.
I'm the anti-Jason.
Somebody has to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wait till it's his turn again. He's like, I will destroy you.
I might do something good this time. We'll see.
No, it's good. That's how it works. You need someone to.
And so then the companion, the lover, realizes after having hung out with the hero and like gotten to know the hero and fallen in love with the hero, that there is more to this than they realize. And I think that's the thing.
All right.
Love it. So good.
So now, Megan is the witness.
Witness babe.
So something happened somewhere else.
Just the line for this game every time.
Until it stops being funny, so I think never.
Nope.
So meanwhile, I think some shit's going on at Sand People Crystalline camp. And they have interrogated the spy who was in timeout, and found out that they were a spy sent by the Arbor to see what's going on. So they are not cool with that for obvious reasons. So they decide that they are going to send spies of their own into the Treeopolis.
They're really not going to be happy once they see that play.
Yep, they're like, all right, you go, we've got you tickets to a play. So I think a pair of sand people who are not crystalline in any way, like just normal looking people, begin to make their way towards Metriopolis to infiltrate and see what's going on with the Arbor.
All right.
So I'm gonna draw some little people walking towards the tree.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna
And
do that.
Jess, you are the lore keeper. So it's some sort of cultural thing.
I'm trying to think of. I think. This is kind of like, I don't know if this is kind of dark or bad. Whoops. I think like the hero's not like a full-blown like the hero of all time yet, but they are this like cool person who does cool things.
And they do have that play that talks about that.
They have
a play.
they have a play that talks about their adventure. They have this really cool tree arm. And I think some people start being like, wait a second. Like, I think people want to start doing body mods with tree parts.
Yes.
People who are treeple, because like the treeple become.
Yeah, well, the treeple become trees,
So
but that's not,
non-magic
for some
people.
people, that's not desirable, because I think eventually you, like, stiffen up.
Yeah.
And you become a tree, right? And
Yeah,
it's
that's
not...
the price of the tree magus, I think.
That's
Right.
the price of
This
being
is,
a
like,
tree
non-magic
magus.
people.
Exactly.
Like, okay.
So this
We
is
got
like...
so nature cyberpunk just now, and I love it.
So yeah, so I just think that some people are unwilling to go full treeple, like full tree magic, because they don't want to eventually become like, I think you get like, there's a lot of benefits. You get to be magic, you get a longer life, like, you know what I mean? There is like, when you're part tree, part people, is pretty cool. It's just the problem is when you turn into a full freaking tree.
Yeah. And then eventually you end up in the grove, and like that's
Ooh.
That's like your final. That's
Yeah.
like ascending.
Plus,
Yeah.
if you're one of the kids who's partying at the branch, you don't have time for learning magic stuff.
Yeah. If you're
You
one
know,
of
things-
if you're into like other things, you don't have time for like, because the magic does take a lot of time and study and effort and resource. Like, you don't just freaking like get it.
boring.
Yeah. So some
Nobody-
people
ain't
are all
nobody
like,
got time for that.
yeah. So some people are all like, hey, wait a sec, this person like didn't even really know the way of the tree, and then they got this magic tree arm, and now they're super magic. Like, they're super duper magic. Maybe we can do that. And so I think people start like trying to like test putting different parts of the tree
I love
to
this so
themselves
much.
to
so
see.
good.
And I don't think as of yet the results have been amazing, to be honest. I think it's not
Who could've
great. And,
predicted?
yeah, and for some people it just becomes like, for some people it's just ornamental. But I think for the people trying to really gain power from it, it's pretty disappointing. But there's still people are still trying because they look at the hero and they're like, well, it worked for her.
Yeah.
So
Well, maybe like depending on like their like ability to touch into the tree magic, some of it takes more than others.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of this like, it's a lot of this cultural like confusion with the older people, like that these teenagers are doing these like dangerous things.
Yeah, dangerous tree
themselves.
body
Like,
mods.
I mean, because some kids do it and nothing ever takes, and now they've like chopped off a hand.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think they start small. They start small with like, I don't know, an ear, a finger, like, you know what I mean? And like, and
Although
even
I'm just, like,
and even
thinking
sometimes
of some like ones that like take, because like a bark eye would just be so cool.
Yeah, and I think
Or-
not even necessarily like ruining an entire body part. Sometimes they just
Yeah,
try
but,
and
like,
like,
they're just, like-
put leaves or stems
Yeah, yeah.
like into their arms, like almost like
Flowering
scales.
branch horns?
Yes, like
Oh, that would be like
absolutely.
just like pauldron style, like just leaves and stuff that come
Yeah.
off like your shoulders.
Yeah, they're just trying. Sometimes they're just trying to add on to themselves, but some people have absolutely tried to remove a body part
Yeah.
and put some tree parts in their place, and mostly it has not gone well. Yeah, so people, Dizzy
so
and
cool.
Sunday in chat, everyone's
it's a confusing time for
Yeah.
Metropolis. here.
everyone's
like,
saying they're grafting. They're trying to graft the tree. And they're trying to like.
like we've got Descent in the Arbor, we got teenagers who are partying too much, we got body
Bad
modification,
Propaganda
bad
theater.
theater.
It is a wild time.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
All right.
The times that build a hero, one might say.
Yep.
ooh.
All right. So now we're switching again. So now Dusty is the cartographer, and Megan is the companion, and Jess is the witness, and I am the lore keeper.
Cool.
Megan, your two themes to choose from are courage, once a fearsome foe threatened the weak, or once a brave soul was threatened and isolated, or tragedy, once a funeral attracted mourners from miles away, or once nature exacted a heavy toll. And for the possible companions, you have the scholar, you have the firstborn, you have the outsider, who is not from around here. You also now have the ally. You fought at the hero's side. What did you accomplish? Your themes are courage or tragedy.
Yeah. Ooh. I don't know. They're all very good. I think. Let's see what we got going on here. Trying to like get a scope of what's happening in the world.
A lot.
There's a lot happening.
Yeah, it's
There is all. You got all flavors of messed up crap. So I think, let's see, tragedy or what are the courage ones?
Courage ones are once a fearsome foe threatened the weak, or once a brave soul was threatened and isolated.
Oh man. Okay. I think I'm gonna pick the ally.
Okay.
And I'm gonna do, I think, tragedy.
And the tragedy ones were once a funeral attracted mourners from miles away, or once nature exacted a heavy toll, which in our world is
Which, yeah.
to be quite a thing.
Okay. All right.
I'll pull a face card for you. Ooh. Like a badass armored lady with a hood.
Oh, my new wife. Great. We'll be very happy together. Okay, so I think that the hero having returned with this formerly captured, kidnapped, whatever person, there's starting to be like a lot more buzz. Obviously, there's a very successful play. and everyone kind of looking to her in their like fear and nervousness regarding the threat of the Sand People and the Crystalline to the south. So she's contracted by the Arbor to kind of like take like a small group of people back down to the river just to kind of do just like a show of force or just like some reconnaissance to see like if there's anybody from the Sand People like trying to come north towards them. And during this journey, there was, I'd say, 5 people plus me plus the hero just traveling south. And as we're making our way down towards the river, when we reached the river, we just kind of like made a little camp. We were just really surveying everything that was happening. And we began to see a small, what looked like people coming towards the river to cross it. And in an attempt to try to stop it before they were able to cross the river, the group waded into the river to try to head them off at the pass, and the other companions were swept away and taken by the river, and myself and the hero couldn't rescue them and barely made it out alive back to the side that we had come from.
And Dusty, you're the cartographer. You want to attempt to
draw a bunch of dead bodies in the river.
swept away people in the river.
I mean, it was what I was gonna do.
So that's what happened. And I think after that, we hurried back towards Metropolis to tell the Arbor, like, hey, this happened. There are people coming. We couldn't.
Oh, Cursor, why did you do that?
Like, we tried to stop them, but like we suffered losses. We couldn't cross the river, but we did see that there are people heading towards us.
Do the people back at the tree back at
Oh no!
Do they know that there was the river that claimed the other companions, or do they think it was the people crossing it?
I mean, we told them it was the river.
Undo did nothing.
Whatever they spread from there is up to them, but they were told that they were swept away by the river.
Okay.
My Cursor likes to freak out and make really, really weird long lines for every random thing. But there's some dead bodies in a river.
Oh, bye.
All right. So now the witness is Jess. So Jess, somewhere else something happens or is described? I'm guessing.
Yeah, I think so. There are those spies that came over from the Crystalline, from the Sandcastle, desert, everything. And they came over, and I think they did in fact see like the play, and they were very like unimpressed. Like they very
One star.
they're like, what the heck?
That's not historically factual.
But then I think they went to the branch, and is that what we called it? The branch?
Yeah.
The branch.
They went to the branch and they interacted with, some people more on the fringes of society. And they were able to find more in common there. And so I think that some of the spies are still very much like focused on on anti-Treeple rhetoric. But some of them are beginning to see a little bit more of the similarities between them, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
all this while war is approaching. Well,
The spies are in a way like spreading
yeah.
anti-propaganda. They're like,
Hey,
like
the
their
crystalline aren't so bad.
Yeah, but like, yeah, so they're there, and like I said, how like there's the different rooms. They're totally in the like, they're in the like leaf smoking lounge.
Yeah.
And they're like chilling, and
Nice.
they're sharing their like, you know, their philosophies. They're being all
If
philosophical.
you think this stuff is good, you should see the stuff that they've got over with the sand people.
Then like one kid is like, "Oh man, what if we tried to splice crystals to us?" Like,
Yeah, they're seeing the tree body mods, and they're like, oh shit, what if we like, yeah, what if we were to do body mods with crystals? Oh shit, yeah. So there's a back and forth exchange of like, there's a lot of stuff. I feel like a lot of the spies too that would have come over would have been like youthish, like adults and some like younger adults. So they fit in with that other younger society and community and French society more. And I think that's sort of what happened.
okay. And I am the lore keeper, and I have a neat idea. So the Sand People, I mean, we've seen a lot of the violent offshoots of some of the Sand People who have attacked, or I guess the spies aren't really violent, but they've come over and been telling their side of the story. But back in the Sand People culture, there's been a rising sort of religious element that worship the crystals, and they believe in something called the resonance, that there's
yes.
a vibration that the crystals produce, that they kind of find peace and knowledge through. And they have been taking larger crystals that have fallen from the meteors, and they've been planting them in the earth, and they sort of become shrines, and they worship at them. But also there's a side effect. The crystals, once they're planted in the earth, the tree's roots that reach down this far into the world have started to petrify near the crystals, which the Sand People don't see necessarily as a bad thing. I mean, that whole castle is petrified roots and based on petrified roots. So they see it as sort of just a natural side effect. And the tree people don't know that this is happening yet, but they might be concerned that some of the roots are starting to petrify at the ends. But yeah, now there's this like sort of monastic religion based around the resonance of the crystals.
How do they feel about the crystalline then?
They highly respect the crystalline. They're different. I mean, the crystalline have made themselves that way through their mastery of the knowledge of the star metal and the crystals. But they do respect the work. But the monks of the resonance are peaceful. They're nonviolent, except for their accidental side effect they're having on the roots of the tree.
Cool.
And now as we switch up again, now Megan's the cartographer, Jess is the companion, I'm the witness, and Dusty is the lore keeper.
I love your crystals.
Yeah, those are good.
Good crystals.
Good crystals. Good crystals right there.
So Jess,
That's the one thing I got from my geology degree. Is I could draw decent crystals.
Let's do this.
yes, you have for your themes a choice of threat.
Oof.
Once an overlooked problem became a great threat, or once a false threat obscured a greater one,
Oh no.
or urgency, once time was running out. And for companions, you have the scholar, there's the firstborn, there's the outsider, and now there's the entwined. You and the hero are entwined by fate, born under the same star and the same season, crossing paths many times, and yet your fates diverge.
Oh dang. What was I got scholar, firstborn, entwined. What was the one before that?
Outsider,
Outsider.
one who's not from around here.
Oh boy. Read thread again for me, please.
The threat is once an overlooked problem became a great threat, which we have many potential overlooked problems,
Yeah.
or once a false threat obscured a greater one. Maybe they're scared of the sand people when they should actually be scared of something else.
I'm scared of all the body mods. Really, they should be afraid of, I don't know, literally anything.
That
Tree
was
body
lit-
mod cancer.
That's 100% what I was gonna go with. The not a big threat was the.
All the parents are like, my kids are getting into body mods. What more?
Smoking is bad. Don't smoke leaves, people.
Brings me closer to the tree, Mom. You don't understand my generation.
This is 100% what I was thinking of doing.
We've all been pretty much on like similar paths here with thinking. I love it.
Yes.
It's pretty funny. It's pretty funny. So yeah, I definitely think I was thinking the outsider and the threat. Not far off from what we were all discussing. And I think I was thinking like, oh gosh.
You have a cool face card too.
What is it?
So, where she's got like stars behind her and stuff.
Oh, cool.
That is a cool one. Yeah, I definitely think this is someone on like by the outsider. It's like someone on the fringes of society. It's definitely someone from the branch. It's definitely someone who has befriended one of the like Sand People spies. Hi, Nicholas. How are you? So I definitely think I think the hero was someone who like everyone sort of saw in her what they wanted to see. So the people that were like very like normal proper society saw them for like, you know, saw the play about them and was like, oh, okay, like this is their story, and they're like, that's fine. And then like, but they also associated with like folks in like on the fringes of society and the branch and stuff like that. They definitely like, you know, they've met a lot of different people in their life, and they don't cut out anyone. They don't like refuse to associate with anyone. So there's like a wide variety of people, and they did interact. And you know, from the outsider's perspective, the outsider's like, yeah, you know, they came and she listened to us and and like most people were like writing us off for like dumb kids doing body mods. And she was all like, you know, you do you, boo-boo, but you do it safely. Don't just go hacking off any limbs. This wasn't on purpose, you know? This magic limb thing wasn't a, like... it didn't go on purpose, but, yeah, and I think people were really giving these people on the fringes of society, like, a hard time. And the hero was like, nah, cool it. Like, let these people, like, they're not doing anything wrong. We learn new things by trying new things. And they're just trying to figure out what makes sense and what works and stuff like that. And so, like, trying to chill people out on that threat, which wasn't even like really a threat. It wasn't a problem, because meanwhile,
What was the greater thing that they were missing?
the greater thing I assume is the war that's gonna come. I think a lot of people like literally were so focused on their dumb little trivial problems. Like a lot of people were very focused on like a lot of dumb stuff that they weren't paying attention to like the bigger the impending war, but also the fact that like that gosh, they have opportunity to like they had opportunity to be connecting with the sand people, and they're like missing out on that and not doing that. They had opportunity, and I think once again these like outsiders on the fringes of society, or were the closest to that, having interacted with the spies, whether knowing it or not, they definitely had some of these discussions about like but maybe we don't have to like hate the sand people, maybe we don't have to like, maybe people don't have to like do one or the other, maybe you don't have to like, you know, be crystalline or treeple or nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, look at the hero. Look at the hero. The hero grew up with the crystalline, but they have a tree arm, and they were blessed by the tree, and the tree wouldn't have blessed them if you know, the crystalline were all bad. So, yeah, I think that's...
Okay, I like it. Did we draw anything on the map for the outsider?
I don't think we did.
No, what can we draw?
Some kind of special person down by the branch, I guess.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like what I would draw of someone by the branch, or like maybe I don't think they're holding a protest sign.
What if we
But,
just
like-
like draw someone that's like fancy colored or something? It's like a green person.
Draw another person like closer to the tree, pointing at the outsider, like, no, you're outside, you're bad.
Not sure how we're gonna draw pointing with our awesome stick figures, but
Nicholas, we need you to come art for us.
We're all so bad.
We're really bad at
giving-
this.
That,
I
that's
think they have a
really good crystals.
they have a fancy hat.
fancy hat.
Love it. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It's just really weird because people here don't wear hats that fancy.
It's very unusual. Yeah. Ooh, the outsider didn't even try and body mod. They made some like weird tree clothes
Ooh.
that they wore.
So maybe instead of a feather on the hat, it's just a weird leaf.
It's like a leaf, yeah. It's like a little green leaf or something.
I could fix that. Oh no!
You did a murder!
Well,
You
you
murdered
definitely-
That's a
them!
crime.
How could you?
What have I done?
Why?
Well, that's great. No. Oh, I forget that there's the undo. Womp,
Yep.
womp, womp. There we go.
Perfect.
Now I can go to this, and then just do.
So he's trying there.
He's got a big old leaf in his hat. That's a
I
bigger
like
leaf
it.
than I wanted to. But
That's a very fancy leaf.
yeah.
I love it.
So I am the witness, and what I have decided is, unbeknownst to anybody in any of this stuff going on, I mean, I guess this would be connected to the greater threat that people were missing, but the ancient Treeple soul that's in the sandcastle is sharing space now with the spy. And while the spy's been having their little timeout and occasional interrogations, the ancient Treeple soul has been recruiting the spy. Basically, the ancient soul that's imprisoned there knows that they can't leave, but eventually the spy will. And so the ancient imprisoned soul needs to have some eyes and ears on the outside and people to act on its behalf. So it has sort of converted the spy over to serve it. And in the process has sort of turned the spy against everybody. The spy doesn't favor the sand people that put them in the castle, feels betrayed by the tree people who kind of left them out there to rot, even though they were sent by the tree people. So now the spy is just working for the imprisoned Magus that's in the castle. And Dusty, you are the lore keeper.
It is not a thing that happens very often, but it is time once again to hold the festival of the migration. Now, the migration happens when one of the tree maguses reach the very end of their life, as their magic is so infused with them that they are becoming a tree. And so this festival is happening this year as slowly, and it's a couple month long festival, as this tree magus leaves the tree and walks towards the grove. And as they walk towards this grove along this path, the trees, that's a special path that leads to this grove of just these huge, just ancient looking trees. And as they walk through this path, the trees around this path, as the magus walks past, all change as if they're changing with the seasons. And it represents the life. It starts with spring, and then it goes to summer, fall, and winter. And as they walk through, it represents the life of a tree magus in themselves, being given this power as the spring, becoming masters of it as the summer, becoming more and more of a tree person represents the fall, and then the winter is the time when they are no longer anything but a tree and a connection to. And so as they walk along, they're already fairly deeply into tree forms. And then they reach the grove, and they've already had a plot that has been they've sort of picked out for themselves. It's part of the ritual when you become into the Order of the Tree Magus, that you will have your eventual resting place. And everyone comes to watch this happen because of the long life of tree maguses, and there's not that many of them. This is a big thing, and maybe there's a couple who now have to have this in the back of their mind as they witness this event, as this tree magus walks into the grove and then becomes a tree.
All right, if we can draw a grove on the map.
What was that?
If we can draw. Oh, yeah.
I hope I painted a good enough word picture.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you did. So now we have reached the biographer phase of Act 2. So this is when we tell gossip about the new companions that we have. So the companions that can be gossiped about this act are the rescued. So the woman who was rescued from the spies' clutches and then caused trouble when she got back. The lover, who sort of awakened that seed that was the hero had. The ally, who was at the river with the hero when all those people got washed away. And the outsider, who was sort of trying to get people to see the commonalities between the sand people and the tree people.
Well, I do say, you can't possibly listen to anything that filthy outsider says. I mean, look at them with their disgusting leaf hat. Can you believe I wouldn't be caught dead doing anything that they say? They're so horrible.
Thank you, Thurston Howell.
I was to say, I heard that the outsider's actually not from here at all. They're actually a spy sent over from the Sand People to infiltrate our ranks and make us think that the Sand People are trustworthy, but they are not to be trusted.
That's funny. I heard that about that one that they rescued. I heard that the rescued isn't one of us at all and has always been a sand person.
I do say.
I heard that rescued is not who they say they are.
And I heard that the ally, um, ally isn't really much of a hero at all. I mean, they went to the river, and all those poor people got washed away, and they were just lucky. But also, the reason why they get played up as a hero so much is just because the real hero really likes them, and I hear might have something on the side with the ally, but her lover doesn't know.
Clutch the pearls.
Oh, my branches and leaves.
Oh my god, I love it.
I can barely believe my ears.
Uh,
I do declare.
I do declare.
Meanwhile, somebody's like, yes, I,
I
did
may
believe
transpirate.
Sorry, what was that, Megan?
I said, meanwhile, there's a bunch of teens at the branch like, no, I did believe my ears. See, look at all the leaves.
Amazing.
I'm just going to leave now. Bye.
Nah.
all right, so now we're entering Act 3. So Act 3 is the hero's apex. Is there a defining series of events or a shining moment? If the world is not teetering on the edge of disaster, now is the time to give it a healthy shove. You don't have to wring out all the details of the hero's role in resolving the apex of the stories. Some ambiguity is allowed about exactly how the conflicts are resolved. Let your companion shine. This is also their moment. These are the last series of actions from your hero, and opportunities for the companions make them count. So a big difference about this act is we don't choose new companions for this. Instead, you look to the 2 companions you've had and you pick one of them to play during this act. They make a return.
Shit, I made 2 really good ones. Damn it.
And also the theme cards, we shuffle the ones that we used or discarded, and we draw from those. So we can revisit past themes or pick the ones that we didn't pick the first time.
Okay.
Okay, and is there another like whole set of things after this, or is this?
This is the apex. This is the last act, and there's an epilogue after this.
Okay, because
This is when the hero really does the thing. whatever
So
that
this is when we start really setting things on fire and then giving the hero a chance to fix it, right?
Yes, I comprehend. My point is just that we need to try and wrap up in approximately 20-ish, 30-ish minutes.
Yeah, I think
Oh no, sorry, that wasn't about you. That was me making sure that that's what we were doing.
That's cool.
okay. So we each pick our companion that we want to play again. Megan, you had the bard and the ally.
Oh, I'm picking the bard.
Okay.
Oh no.
Jess, you had the
Honest bard.
outsider and the patron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of.
Pick your favorite child, Jess. Pick your
I
favorite
can't
child.
pick. How
What?
dare you?
Which one do you love more?
But it's not. It's not
Ouch.
about which one I love more. It's which one is gonna give me a better story. Like what? I think I'm gonna go with the patron.
And Dusty, you had the lover and the monster.
God damn it. I really wanted the monster, but I think I'm gonna go with the lover.
Okay. And I had the spy and the rescued. I'm gonna go with the spy. Because he's a
I
dick.
wonder why. Yes.
All right. So now we're back up to Jess being the cartographer, me being the companion, Dusty is the witness, and Megan's the lore keeper. And I have shuffled the theme cards.
Can I get a witness?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, this is Isla Wonderful.
No, Arya.
Yes, Arya.
Always Arya.
You guys, enablers, all of you.
Yep.
Yep.
Don't feel bad about it at all.
No.
I know you don't.
Guilt never crossed my mind at all, ever.
That's interesting. Okay. So the 2 theme cards I got were the Justice card that we had before, and also the Captivity card that started everything off.
Ooh.
Interesting.
And I'm going to go with the Captivity card with my spy. So the Captivity card specifically says, once a distant fortress held a condemned soul. The key part of that is being once it held a condemned soul. the spy frees the ancient Magus soul from the sandcastle.
Oh, dang.
Why
Done,
so much
done.
more?
The spy gets free of his imprisonment after he was put in his time out by the Sand People. And they keep a close eye on him, but he's been granted gifts by the ancient Magus that was imprisoned. And very stealthily, he sort of engineers the release of the sandcastle. He actually takes advantage of the monks of the Crystal Resonance, ingrains themselves with their culture, and they end up using the crystals and sounding a resonance that destroys the petrified branch that makes up the core of the sandcastle and imprison the soul. So it crumbles and falls apart, and the sandcastle crumbles around it. And now there's just a pile of sand and broken, petrified tree. And now the ancient Magus is free. And he doesn't like the Sand People or the Tree People.
Oh, no.
Cool. This is fine.
Common enemy.
Good.
All right.
So yeah, well, actually, Jess is the cartographer. I don't know if you
Oh,
want
okay.
to draw a free evil Magus.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I'll try.
He's not a people person. This is 100% true. He's neither Sand People nor Tree People.
Burn them all.
He is inca-people-y. That was a stretch. I apologize for that joke.
That's good.
So Dusty, you're the witness.
Yes.
Something is happening not related to the sandcastle and the crystal.
Something is not happening. Something is happening not related to the sandcastle and crystal. Well, did we ever deal with these guys that came in and attacked the arbor?
We did not. They're still there.
Yeah.
About
Guess what happens there? They came and attacked. Some people ran. Other arborists stayed. Some things happened. Some things were talked about. Some things were planned. There's a growing faction of people who don't believe in who believe that it's time that the maintenance and protection of the tree falls to the people themselves and not these arbor people who protect the tree. So there's a group of people gathering nightly in that hut, and it's growing.
Are these the people gathering at the hut? Are they the sand people or tree people?
The disaffected arborists who survived the attack and realized that they might be able to affect some change in the arbor because they didn't really agree with some things, I think is what was happening there. But it's also sand people, and then other there's a whole questioning happening in this whole civilization on what is tree and what is sand, and but I don't.
Age-old question.
Yes,
Yes.
What is tree, what is sand, and what it means to be either of those things. And I think there is a group that has managed to get a little more. This time I'm doing a war.
No, he's been infected.
But yeah, so there's like just a small group of dissenters, and maybe some of the old protesters. Like it's just this growing thing that's taking a lot of attention away from other places where there should probably be attention.
I now want a shirt that just says, "What is tree? What is sand?"
Isn't that what's great about this world that we live in now is that we can make these things?
What is tree?
What is sand? And then we can just walk around town and people are like, what the hell is that?
And you're just like, "What is tree?"
What is shirt? Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
like you
so,
haven't heard.
Okay. So Megan, you're the lore keeper.
I
This round.
am. Yes. So I think. Whoa, scary ghost.
Yeah.
Whoa! Scary Ghost just appeared out of nowhere.
Hashtag too spoopy.
Boom! There he is.
As
Well,
a
I can't write.
scary ghost.
I'm writing rabble rabble, by the way, down here with all these guys. Rabble rabble rabble.
Ruh-roh. Okay. I
But
think
my cursor doesn't like it.
as a result of all, I'm like motioning to the screen, which does nothing. As a result of what happened with the spy and this scary soul, and the crystals, this day gets marked in their storybooks as the day of the Great Resonance. And it's an auspicious day because it's interpreted by the monks of the resonance as the crystals being unhappy and unpleased with what the Sand People have done. And they take it as a sign that it's time to move the tribe away from where the sand castle was. And they decide that now part of their culture is like that they'll bury new crystals when they fall, and then with every large resonance from them, that signals that it's a time for them to leave and move to another place because they've been sandcastle adjacent for too long.
Now they're somewhat nomadic.
Now they're nomadic, yeah, because like they started off semi-nomadic and then they were not, and now they're back to being nomadic as per what the crystals decide.
Back to the old ways.
Yes, got to get back to the fruits. Pun intended.
All right. Yeah, I'm just moving this along so we finish on time for people that need to go soon. So now the companion is Dusty.
Yes, I'm the lover.
Yep. And
Okay.
your two choices, interestingly enough, your two choices for theme cards are either futility, once a great relic was lost after a long effort, or once a soldier protested a doomed charge, or love, once the rules of marriage had changed, or once a forbidden love was revealed.
Crap. What was the other one again?
Futility, once a great relic was lost after a long effort, or once a soldier protested a doomed charge.
Okay, that doesn't necessarily, that deals with the hero, right?
Yes. So the hero did something, but it could have been futile.
Or you got married.
Yeah, I think Animagus. Where am I? I think Tree Maguses aren't allowed to have relationships. And I think that the hero and the lover, after having witnessed the great, the march of the most recent Animagus to go to the Grove, I think they go to the Grove, and there is this pledge that the lover pledges that they will be by their side, that there is more to this world than we understand, and points to the amulet that is slowly growing, a crystal that is growing a living plant out of it. And I mean, the seedling, it's growing very, very slowly, but it's growing another leaf as time goes by. And I think that she takes that from the hero and says that the rules can be broken, and this is proof that the rules can be broken and nothing is what it seems. And I think underneath, in that grove, underneath the glowing of that tiny little amulet and the stars above, that they pledge themselves to each other.
And that the amulets basically become a metaphor now. It's a crystal growing a plant.
Oh. See, we don't have to make war.
Sometimes I'm mushy.
We don't have to always do a war.
So we should, we need to add like a little secret wedding in the Grove or something, and little crystal
How
with
the hell
plants
do you
growing out of it.
draw a wedding? I think I will just draw. I think I will just draw a little seed. The little.
Oh, the hero might not even know yet that the big evil thing is going on, but now they just got married.
Oh, love.
There you go. I'll put that little crystal seed there.
Megan, you're the witness. Something's happening away from this grove.
What might it be? I think now that Scary Spoopy Ghost is out and the tribe is mobile, they send like their fastest people ahead, knowing that this soul, this evil soul that has been imprisoned for so long is a threat to everyone. They send their fastest people ahead to try and get to the tree people to warn them what's happening and hopefully make some kind of alliance, or just be like, hey, can you send people to help us fight this scary thing that you guys did in the first place, please?
Oh, I hope that goes over well.
Like a pregnant pole vaulter.
That one took a second to really sink in for me.
Yeah, I had to think about that really hard for a second. I've never heard that before in my life.
There.
Oh man, that's been like a staple for me for so long. Yeah, so they're sending people ahead to try and like warn, because I mean it's not just like people live in the tree and people live in the desert. Like there are people that live throughout this place, so they're warning people that there's a great threat coming, but their main goal is to get to Metropolis to warn them and hopefully be like, you guys are like the power here, like please help us defeat this thing that you imprisoned a certain amount of years ago.
All right. Probably should draw something for that. Jess.
Yeah, I'll draw. See, I already had these little spies going, so I'm going to draw another arrow like they're going faster now.
All right. Jess, you are the lore keeper.
Where are all the dots on the screen?
I think that's just us clicking the back to the
Oh,
screen.
yeah, it might have been accidental clicking.
Where'd that? Oh, there we go.
Okay.
Freckles. It's screen freckles.
It's the tiny meteors.
Yeah, they're not all big.
Yeah.
They come in many shapes and sizes.
All
So
of them
Jess,
are
you're the lore keeper.
I don't know.
Drop some lore on us.
I don't know.
special. Some hot lore. Let's go.
I think okay. Oh, okay. I think
That mad lore.
not unlike like the Treeple, the crystalline do a similar thing where they become more and more crystal as they get their magic and stuff like that, and eventually they kind of like seize up and become like a beautiful crystal statue. I think when the ancient evil Magus comes out, those people sort of like shake and move and start moving forward too. Like I don't know how, like he calls them up and they start marching back with him towards the tree in like their crystal, like there's these crystal people are coming for the tree. Like these
Why is
crystal
everyone making war?
I'm not trying to make war. War
That's
was
so
already
good! Oh my
war
god!
was already happening. I just think
She's
that
escalating the war.
I didn't start this, but I'm gonna finish it.
We didn't start the fire.
It's always burning.
Since the world was turning.
Yeah, so I just think that these crystal people start like the Magus as they like the big evil one, not our good tree Maguses.
No.
The big scary evil one
Not
causes
good
the
treeple.
sorry?
I said not the good treeple.
Not the good
the
treeple.
one bad treeple.
The one, yeah.
The one
Yeah.
who refused to be a tree in the grove.
Mm.
Ooh.
That was probably his original sin.
Yeah. Yeah, and so they like, yeah, so these crystal people start like they shake, they get up, they shake, they move very stiffly, but they're slowly lumbering back towards the tree with the
Oh, that's good.
yeah, so that's happening.
Okay. So now we are going to go to Megan's companion.
Honest bards, totally true discount stories.
And your two themes to possibly choose from are patience, once knowledge was revealed after a great wait, or injury, once a mighty figure was permanently transformed by injury. And you can revisit. So one of the things about this is both the patience and the injury ones happened in our story. So the patience was when the hero was taught the ways of the forging the star metal, and the injury was the tree arm incident. You can revisit either of those things as like how is that now important?
I've got it. I'm going with injury. Okay. So everybody knows the story about how the hero got their wood arm. But what you don't know is the story about how the hero got their star metal arm. And I know because I was there. So, so let me tell you. So the hero and I, we went and we rounded up all of these people because these folks from the Sand People tribe came and they're like, there's a big bad guy coming. You got to help. You're the only one that can help. And I was like, hero, we should go do this. It's very important that we stop this. And the hero was like, yeah, you're right. You're always right. You're really cool. Let's go. Let's round some people up. So we did that. And people were like, yeah, you're so great. You're awesome. Let's go fight. This is the best thing ever. You're so attractive. And we were like, yeah, we are. That's true. Let's go. So we made our way south with the Sand People, which was also really cool of us, even though the Sand People, not super well received, but we're fine. So we went and we started to try to just rally everybody together. And there was a big battle, and we saw like this big scary ghost thing. And we went in, and what had happened was mid-battle, just big heroic stuff. I was kind of watching from the sidelines. I don't fight so much, but the hero was doing a lot of really good fighting. But mid-fight, just arm gone. Not the wood arm. The wood arm was fine. Other arm, human arm, gone. Didn't know what to do. Everyone was freaking out. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, there was this like sound coming from these weird crystals, and then boom, metal arm. Out of nowhere. Swear. And that's exactly what happened.
Nice. That's awesome. I really like that.
That's awesome.
I especially like the bard playing up how awesome they were through the whole thing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened.
I'm sure that's exactly how it went. I love it. Oh, I love that.
That's so good. I love it. Oh my gosh.
Okay, so
Oh my
now,
gosh.
Jess, you're a witness. Something elsewhere. Not at the battle against the...
Who wasn't paying attention to the battle? Like, that's like
somewhere something else was happening.
I don't know, you've got all the druggies in the branch. You've got all of the upset people in the hut. Although they might have joined the army. We don't know.
Yeah.
You've got the migrating sand people, the nomadic sand people that have left. You have the people who are now the rabble rousers against the arbor.
Rabble.
Maybe good things are happening.
I'm trying to think of good things. I want good things to be happening. I don't know. I think some of the philosophical people in the branch finally like stop partying long enough to get up and start a movement where they're like, hey, you know, we're done with this hating on the sand people stuff. We totally don't know that there's a war happening immediately over here right now. We're too big.
But the war is not against the sand people, to be fair.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
No.
Go ahead.
No, I say no, it's not. I mean,
Yeah.
at least as far as you know from
Yeah.
this incredibly true story.
I love that I've mostly caused, like, most of my stuff has been, like, causing protests. Like, the youth will rise up. The youth rise up against the bourgeois tree.
Oh, no.
I like it.
Yeah, so
Shut it down. It's not getting better than that. Shut it all down.
Oh my god. So yeah, the youth rise up against all the, like, I think there's a lot of, like, comfortable upper crust people who don't give a fudge, and that's why on so many occasions before we've had them, like, they don't even notice the big stuff happening. They're too busy, like, giving the regular folk a hard time about their crappy plays, or giving them a hard time about their attempts at, you know, expressing themselves through tree clothes and things like that, you know? And so I think there's a bit of I want the youth to rise up and, like, flip the
Rise up.
tables
When
of
you
the
live in the
rich.
tree, you rise up.
they rise up and they may protest by flipping all the rich people's tables over and
Flipping
they
their leaves
say-
over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they say stop being so indifferent and finding ways to put yourself above others. We're no different than the sand folk, and we should all, you know, they're probably thirsty over there in that desert. Let's give them some water, you know? Let's be nice. Maybe they need some fresh fruit, you know? And yeah, that's what happens.
Okay.
Boy, these
Leaflets.
millennials, I tell you.
They're
Well,
handing out leaflets.
I'm the lore keeper, and I'm going to sort of expand on that.
Okay.
So the people in the branch who had been so into the plant body mods, they also saw the seed, the crystal seed that's growing the plant, and that combined with their own sort of rising up against the tree, they sort of start to adopt a mix of plant mods and crystal mods.
Mm-hmm.
So they start finding ways to integrate the crystals with their body mods, and also they join up with the rabble rousers who are the disaffected arbor people, and they start a new movement that they call Harmony. And Harmony is basically integrating the tree culture and the crystal sand people culture, and they are firmly against the old arbor and against the attitude that it's us versus the sand people. And they've now heard word of the battle that the hero fought and are saying, no, the hero's not fighting the sand people. The hero's fighting an old tree magus. So they're basically saying the sand people and the tree people have to join together to fight this. And it's both sides' problem. And basically they've just started their whole theme and everything has been mixing the plants, the living material, and the crystals.
Mm-hmm. I like this. I like the
Love it.
harmony.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, and so Jess is going to end up bringing this home, sort of.
Last round. Crap.
Oh,
Your patron,
Yeah.
and
I almost regret this now. Yes.
these themes are good that you got.
Oh shit. Oh no.
So
no pressure.
guidance, once an unlikely guide offered assistance, or courage, once a fearsome foe threatened the weak, or once a brave soul was threatened and isolated. This is the patron who had seen so much in the hero and gave
Mhm.
them their tree arm.
Could you? What was the first one again?
Guidance. Once an unlikely guide offered assistance.
So okay, so someone put it in chat. Saplings. The saplings rose up. I love that because the youths of the tree are the saplings. Rose up against the bourgeois tree. And so like that's happening whilst the war is happening to the side there. And I think we just heard the story from the bard of the hero losing their other arm, but then miraculously getting this crystal arm. And I think something happens where that patron they show up sort of at the front lines of the war. Having come to like tell the hero something that they've like just discovered for themselves already anyway type thing. Between their tree arm and their crystal arm and their crystallized tree seed thing, and they're like
Maybe the hero didn't see it before.
yeah, and they well, I mean, I think they like kind of had it. I don't know what it is, but there's that thing where like the patron comes in and they're like, if you combine them, you can have the ultimate power type thing. You know what I mean? And they're like, use the tree arm and the crystal arm at the same time in conjunction with your crystal plant necklace. Like, do your magical girl transformation. like right at the end to fight the ultimate villain type thing. So the patron...
Only by working together can you win.
Yeah, only by working together. And then so the tree people that are there with the hero and actually some of the crystalline, they somehow stop and listen to, and almost everyone sort of turns on the great evil Magus together, with the hero at the lead having just been having an awakening from the patron again. And yeah, they fight off.
They defeat the
evil
spirit.
The evil mega spirit. Yep.
Yeah. Turn those eyes to X eyes.
Yep. Oh shoot.
Yeah.
All right. I'm the witness. I know exactly what I'm doing to expand off of that, but happening elsewhere. So during the big battle, where the heroes sort of got everybody invested in defeating the spirit, the semi-nomadic crystal monks of the resonance, they sounded a loud chime in the crystals, believing that it could help defeat evil spirit, which is not exactly what it did. When the crystals had been previously causing the roots of the tree to petrify, this time it spread all the way back to the source of the tree.
Son of a bitch.
But it did not kill the tree. It's just that now the tree has like strips of petrified crystalline substance that run all the way up the branches. Some of the leaves become like crystalline leaves.
Well, there goes my lore. Oh, that's so good.
And of course, all of the harmony that was rising up, the saplings and stuff that were rising up, point to that and say, look, this is now the tree is for everybody. And the tree just becomes this shimmering, half living, half crystalline, like symbol, just as the evil spirit, the Magus spirit, is defeated by the hero.
Oh.
And then, yeah, Dusty, you have lore.
Okay, so I was going to go with the exact same thing with my lore, but there is a song that the arbors sing to heal the tree.
Ooh.
And that song was sort of adopted by the saplings as their own, to try and make this song their own, and they would use it in their protests.
Do you hear the crystals sing?
something like that. So like they start singing this as this tree, and it's just this resonating. It's this it resonates with the new crystal, and it encourages the crystal growth in among this half living crystal, half living tree. And where the Magus sort of fell in this desert battle with the hero and stuff, the that song becomes a song of the whole people, and it resonates with that tree. And the seedling that the hero had, they plant it where the sand fortress was, and another tree starts to grow out from that
On the other pole.
on the other pole.
On the opposite side of the world?
Yep.
That's so good.
Jason and I were definitely on the same level, so I just like went with that one.
I love it.
I was thinking the exact same thing. So yeah, that the resonation of the people singing in the tree, and the people singing it in the battlefield at the end of the battle, it resonates through the entire world, out from the roots in the desert, and that reacts with the seedling amulet, and it gets planted there.
So good.
So I mean, technically we'd be going into the epilogue. I think we already started to sort of go there. And I know that we have to stop soon anyway. But yeah, I think I mean, we can sort of talk about an epilogue, but I think we basically changed the whole world.
No, and I think the epilogue with the monster character and the hero is that when that crystal starts resonating, the monster. Oh, or did I jump?
No.
Okay.
You just reminded me.
So they take that. They're the one that takes that seed, and because because they were like fighting against the hero, because they were one of those. Because I would like to think that towards the end, but they haven't seen the hero in a long time, they became a crystal themselves, and then they were reanimated with the Magus and had to fight against the hero. And then when that's free, they take that seed, and they themselves take that seed with them and go plant themselves in there and become that tree. And that's the last time, that's the last interaction between the monster and the little girl he left. And he had given that too, because she had meant a lot to him.
So yeah, what Dusty reminded me of is during the epilogue, we're both basically supposed to choose one of each of our companions. It doesn't have to be the same one we used for the Act 3, and describe the last time that they parted from the hero and mark that on the map. So Dusty basically did his. I think I will pick the Rescued. The Rescued, while all of these other events were happening in Act 3, had become very involved with the rising up against the Arbor. They end up becoming a very influential figure in the new caretakers of the Crystal Tree. And they've now settled down and have used their cross-cultural experience, their time with the Sand People, and their time in the branch and the uprising, and are now taking care of leading the united Sand and Tree People into a new future. They meet with the hero one last time at the actual original site of the Sand People village where they were rescued. They just thank the hero for changing their entire path of their life. They had no direction when they were taken, and the hero rescued them and then gave them an opportunity to set their own future, which they did, and that's where they are today. So they thanked the hero one last time at that original site where the Sand People village was, and then that was the last time they saw the hero.
Are we going in order? Can we just go?
Sure.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do the ally. And I definitely think the ally rode into this battle with the hero. It was there when the big bad was defeated, and they ended up really something about the way that the sand people really, no pun intended, resonated with them.
Now you say no pun intended?
I couldn't think of a better word. Screw it, pun intended, pun always intended. And I think after the battle was done and the hero was like, all right, it's time to go back home, like time to go back to Metropolis, they decided to stay with the sand people and make a new life there. And the hero riding away with the rest of her contingent was the last time they saw her.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I'm gonna do the outsider, and I'm gonna say that the last time they saw the hero was right before the hero went off to battle, and that's why that they went back to the branch and were like, the hero is out there fighting for us right now, and like half these doofuses don't even know what's going on. They're too busy like hating on stupid stuff. Like, the least we could do is try and fix the problems here so that the hero returns to like a just and fair society that they would be proud to fight for, type thing. And that's when they incite the riots with the other saplings and such from the branch and go off and do that.
Awesome.
Cool.
Oh, I love our world.
I really liked it. It was so
I
good.
already have a first paragraph of like a story that I
Jeez.
wanted like write about this whole thing because this was good.
This game is so good.
Great.
I so glad I own this game.
I need to go get it. It's
Yeah,
so
get
good.
it.
Please, let's play it a million more times.
Yeah, we have to. It's so good. That was so good. I cannot believe. Oh my gosh.
Look at this world. This is nuts.
I really like I don't know how to art, but I love our little world we made. I love it. I love what we did.
Well, this is really good. I like to think that the original tree is more tree than crystal, and then on the opposite end, it's more crystal and then tree, and that the tree megases, if they live near the mostly crystal tree, they never fully transform, so that the hero and the tree megas can be together, starting a new civilization down
Aww.
at that tree.
Love.
And they fixed the problem, basically, that the original spirit, when he rejected becoming a tree,
Mm-hmm.
he became like an evil curse thing. Now it's all fixed by love.
Yes. Thank you, love.
Love.
Yeah. So if we're done, then I'm just gonna go ahead and put like our little Spire crew commands in the chat and remind everyone that not next week, but next week, basically this same crew plus Nicholas, who made all the beautiful layouts and stuff here, and has made a very cool layout for our Spire game. PS.
I'm excited to see that.
It's gonna be every other week starting the 30th of March. Minus Nicholas. Oh, that's right.
He won't be there for the first game.
He won't be here for the first game.
In spirit.
He'll be here in spirit with all his beautiful art. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, you socialized, Nicholas. How dare?
How dare. But yeah, so this was amazing. We definitely have to play this game again.
Yeah, this was a really good game.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I loved it so much. This was so much fun. Thanks everyone who hung out for this whole 3 hours of world building. It was amazing.